This is the Levels Network. I am Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason OG. I want to say straight off the bat, we had a couple people message us. People thought you were upset with the result from Sunday, and that's why we postponed the podcast from yesterday.
Oh, no.
But it's me. It was me. I did the marathon.
Hey, mate, you done a 42-kilometre marathon.
Yeah.
You deserve all the rest you can get. I don't know, people at home, he's been training since, 6 months. He's dedicated. He missed out on Magic Round, Origins, just the fucking best time of the year. Sacrifice, not even a beer. Not even a beer. So I respect you that much.
Thank you, mate.
And that you've done a massive job. And when you said, can we just do it on Tuesday? I'm like, fuck, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. And a big part of that.
You need rest, mate. Your body's banged up.
Yeah. My body clock still sort of got me up early, but I missed the game on. This is how, I guess, I don't know if nervous was the right words, but I just wanted to make sure I got every single part of my preparation.
Yeah, it was right.
Is ticked off as possible. So I missed the game on Saturday night, the Newcastle Knights and Cowboys, and I rewatched that yesterday.
Okay.
What a game.
Best game.
I was in bed by 7 o'clock, so I could wake up for a 4:30 start. Had to go pick up my mate Lukey at 5 a.m. in the morning. He shot some content.
What a great effort from Lukey, bud.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah,
some good things. Shot some good things. Well done, Lukey.
A big shout out to Lukey. Obviously, we do stuff at Levels, Mace, but he's always got our back with anything like that.
Always, mate.
Getting up at the crack of dawn.
And it's it was a great accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
You finished last year, you were a bit disappointed, your body gave up on you.
Yep.
What'd you do, 5 hours?
About 5 hours, yeah.
And what'd you do this time?
4 hours and 17 minutes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done. You wrapped it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I'll have to chat.
Because you know why? I don't think – I looked at the Kenyan guy that won and you don't have that same build.
Well, I think the legs are the same.
Yeah, but
the calves are the same.
Yeah, I'm looking at that guy is built for running. You're built for rugby league.
All right, we're gonna
massive effort.
We're going to chat about it a little bit later on, but I just want to give props to everyone who was there.
Yeah.
I'm a world record holder, mate. That was the most people who have ran at a Sydney Marathon, and I was a part of that.
It's starting to get up there. They're trying to get there with the Boston and New Yorks and all that kind of stuff.
So there'll be an announcement for whether we are inducted as a major, which should be in a couple of months.
Nice.
There's I think we're up against, and I could, there's a city in South Africa, maybe Cape Town, I believe, and there's another one that's escaping my mind right now. But if you were one of the head honchos from the World Majors and you seen Sydney yesterday,
look at Sydney, it's beautiful, mate. Why wouldn't you want to have it in Sydney? It's not too hot. It's not crazy hot. The weather's beautiful at this time of the year.
The views,
picturesque. It was great. I come into the city around about probably lunchtime. The whole city's buzzing. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you have it in Sydney? Sydney's one of the best cities in the world. Most expensive city as well.
Craig.
It sucks.
Lukey, what did you say? Lukey's behind the camera as well. Lukey, what did you say about when you said you took the picture of the guy coming over the finish line? You're like, if you're the World Majors, for sure, this has to be a major.
Yeah. The video that we put up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go and look at the clip. Lukey got a clip of the winner, and he ran it in just over 2:06. That's disgusting. I will say, and I want to give props to everyone who competed in it. Had a few good friends. Obviously, my man Louis Brown, he's been a big part of my journey.
How'd he go?
3 hours and 20 minutes, Lukey.
Far out.
Yeah, he's an animal. He's got the bug proper. That's his third in a year, and he's going to New York to go do the New York Marathon as well. Joseph Paulo did it.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw Sepho in town just as I was coming in.
Yeah, so Seph was
well
with
done,
it.
Seph.
A good friend of mine. He only played one first grade game, but Keith Peters also did it. And I had a number of younger mates. Missile's partner Rose did it with us. Jammer did it. And then
I can't believe this. Did Jammer train or anything?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
what was his time?
But he was training over. I think Jammer did in about 4 hours 30 minutes.
Finished about 15 minutes before you.
15 minutes before me. But
before you?
Yeah, on the run.
On the run, but I was further back.
Okay.
So I believe his time was about 4 hours and 30 minutes.
So you beat him?
So I got Jammer. Yeah.
Cool. Easy work.
There you go. And I got my man Eddie. Went and did a podcast with those boys yesterday. Fuck you, Eddie.
Fuck you, Eddie.
It was so good to see those boys. They sat down in Miss Macquarie's chair, ran past them. They threw me this hat. These hats are the Mickey too.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah, it is a good day. It
was a good day.
It was a great day. So just one little thing. I said this to the boys yesterday, having a chat to them on their potty. It's crazy some of the bodies that you see out on the marathon. And I was referring back to this big girl. She would have been about my height, about 6'2", 6'3", maybe just a little bit under me on height. But, it's pretty thick.
Taller than Ren?
And just way taller than Ren.
Way
taller than
Foot taller than Ren.
Foot taller than Ren.
Yep.
And just like chugging along at that 4-hour 10 pace that I was trying to keep with. And I was just like, man.
God bless her.
And God bless her, 100%.
Man.
And it's like, by no means do I mean it's like in a derogatory term. It's like she was chipping away and going hard. And then you see some like people that are clearly over the age of like 50 plus.
Yeah.
And they're just weapons. Like you can't judge a book by its cover. Some people just got that dog in them.
Yeah.
And that's why we love it.
Did you ever stop?
Yes, I did. So I ran consistently for 30, and then I reckon in the last 12 kilometres, every 2 kilometres they have a water station. So once I seen the water station, I'd sort of like jog up to it, start walking about 100 metres before it, grab my water, rehydrate, walk about 100 metres, put my drink away.
Would this
and then start running?
Could this be a tactic? Just say if I ever did it, like run 500, fair pace, stop, walk 500.
If you
run.
did it, if you want to do it, let's do it together next year together. I will do it if you do it. And
run, jog,
and
run,
we'll run,
jog, walk, jog. You know what I mean? Maybe. Yeah.
Should we do it and get a gang together? No. I'm going to try to convince you on this later on. Now that you planted the seed for me.
Yeah, I was just thinking I ain't going to fucking just sit there at 40% just jogging. My whole body would just start. I'm just saying, like if we do 500 and just actually have a crack for 500.
Yep. I reckon you
and then just sort of walk and then jog.
I reckon you could do a kilometre run, and not crazy run.
That's what I mean, like a fair pace instead of doing like 40% of your effort.
And then maybe we get a gang with us as well. Like maybe there's some people, because that's a big part of what the Sydney Marathon are trying to get us involved with. If you're willing to do that, I'll go back and I'll run it back with you and we'll do it together and we'll finish it.
We'll think about it.
We'll see how we go.
Food for thought.
Coming up as well on the Saturday, the 28th of September, the Carl Webb Foundation. Yeah. This is really close to you, mate. You've got a great relationship with and played with Carl Webb from a young age. Check out this, the legends that are involved in this charity match. For the Queensland team, representing Queensland, GI, Big Petro, Matty Bowen, Brad Thorne, and our man, Willie T. And for the New South Wales team, Greg Bird, Todd Carney, The Peach, David Peachy.
Andrew Walker.
Proper OG Andrew Walker. The OG Burton Bomber, Andrew Walker.
The king. One of the most talented ever.
And Big Sam Cassiano, the Big Oos. I don't think he ever played for New South Wales, but he grew up in New South Wales and
doesn't matter.
And he's playing for him as well. It's for a great cause.
Great cause. Carl Webb Foundation. Hopefully, this goes on for forever.
It will
forever, and players just keep turning up. Those names there are like, we're all. In our 40s and all that kind of stuff, and 50s, nearly 50s. I think Andrew Walker's around about then. There, Big Petro and like Brad Thorne. Great.
When you just get together for games like this, obviously, at what point does someone have to kick off for it to get going? Do people go a little bit harder than others, or does everyone?
Yeah, I mean, it's a gentleman's agreement.
Yep.
But when a guy like Greg Bird's playing, it just doesn't fucking know. You don't know what you're going to get.
So it's good to be on Birdie's team.
Yeah, so be on Birdie's team.
Yeah.
Like with things like this, I mean, I don't know. I'm done with that sort of stuff. I'll just turn up and just if you want me to turn up, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it's tough on the body. Yeah,
it's tough on the body. I mean, and I'll do it just for great causes to raise money for Carl Webb, the Carl Webb Foundation. But busy as hell at this time of the year. Most of these guys are, they're based in Queensland.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's the key. So everybody's who's up there up north. they're pretty much playing. There's hardly anyone from down here playing up there.
Yep. So you can find that game on the Saturday, 28th of September, 3 p.m. at KO Stadium at Moreton Bay, Queensland. Tickets are available on Ticketek, and if there is a cause to get around. The legendary Carl Webb Foundation. Go and support the boys. Yeah. If you're up there in Queensland, maybe if you're up there in New South Wales, it's the end of the year too. You want to go and support the weekend.
It's a hard date too. That's just, what's that, week 3, the finals?
That is the preliminary weeks.
The prelim. So you know where I'll be? I'll be in Melbourne.
Yeah,
I'm going to go to the AFL Grand Final.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You know what they do? The great Corey McKernan, 2-time premiership winner. Played in the 90s, North Melbourne, absolute gun, Hall of Famer. Been doing some, he does a lot of events.
Yep.
And so this is what the AFL do, which is so much better than the NRL, right? So he's played over 200 games. So if you play 200 games in the AFL, you get grand final tickets every year.
That's huge.
For free, yeah. Like 200 games.
Yep.
Like 300 gamers get that for the rest of their life, and their kin gets that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just happens. Like, we don't get anything.
Let me just quick question on that. What if everyone, like, how many people have played 200 games? You reckon? What's the number?
Don't know, but they all get a free ticket.
Yeah, but like, let's have a.
Just say there's 300 people.
Do you reckon? I reckon there'll be more than that.
Maybe 500. Just say 500. You know, like, depends who's alive still.
Yeah, true.
You know, like, but the thing is, it's the gesture, right?
It is, no.
You know, you 300 gamers. Like, how many 300 gamers are here? You know, that have played over 300 games.
Lukey, can you? Yeah, he's looking. Lukey's
How many
looking.
300 gamers have played for New? Like all up. I've played over 300 games.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you
Lukey,
think,
can you also look and see how many NRL players we have for 200 gamers? Sorry, mate.
oh, heaps. Yeah, we'd have heaps. So just say 250, 300.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just say that, like, and you get nothing. Even grand final winners, Clive Churchill winners, don't get anything. If I wasn't involved with the tab, if I wasn't involved with the media and everything like that,
Yep.
I would have to source my own ticket and pay for it.
But you'd get it for free because you.
No, it's not. That's not the point. Just
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, okay.
You know, just say
Without
if I wasn't,
asking for it.
if I wasn't
Okay.
like, if I wasn't who I am, and
Gotcha.
in this media world and know people and everything like, just say I'm out in the country and I've just retired and I've played 250 games. There's a lot of people that just want to get away from the game. They go,
Like a guy like Dale Finucane would just go back to the country.
yeah,
after
like Adam
footy.
Perry. Adam Perry played 200 games.
Yeah, well.
Grand final winner.
Yep.
Where's his ticket?
Yeah, gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
It is a
He'd
nice
have
gesture.
to source.
You can't find it.
Games is just 270.
270 Oh, really?
What's that?
Approximately 273 players have played more.
Is that Chat GPT?
Yeah, so there's
Yeah. So
Was that for NRL players?
So Lukey has said, I don't need you to count them, but I was going to say maybe there's a Google, you know, when someone's played 200 games, they might update an article. Maybe have a look at that. But Lukey for now reckons 270. And by the way, too, let's get on top of this now.
Yeah.
So Lukey next year with the studio, it's not constructed where Lukey sits behind the screen. He can normally talk to us.
He's just a.
He's just here now. But now he's going to bring a mic in as of
so
next
sure.
year. So we'll get him on. There you go.
But I just think it's pretty poor. It's poor from the NRL. You know, they should be really like trying to get all the ex-players in the last 20, 30 years or whatever, and just like they should be automatic, even if you don't want to go, you still get the ticket.
Yeah, I like that.
300 games,
That's a good
250 games. There should be something for a grand final, especially if you played in a grand final and won a grand final. Clive Churchill Medal, all that kind of stuff. Not just because I've done all that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what about Brent Kite? 300 games, Clive Churchill, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
He has to go. He's not involved in the game or anything anymore.
Yeah.
He'd have to go and source that out and go. He'd probably have to pay for his ticket. There should be a box or wherever they have a designated wing or wherever for all these players that have played 200, 300 games, and Corey McKernan gave me his ticket.
Oh, wow. Mad.
His ticket,
And
yeah.
you're going to go with the boys PK and all that? Are you
Yeah,
with those
so
crew?
PK's
Oh,
good.
nice.
Yeah, so like, and because I do stuff with Seven might hook me up with all that kind of stuff because Seven run
yeah,
that.
yeah, true.
So, but he's given me his ticket so I can sit
That's
there. So
awesome.
I'll be sitting with all these like AFL greats.
Fuck, how good.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you ever been to AFL?
I've never been to an AFL grand
Oh,
final.
that's awesome.
So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly.
Yeah.
And, you know, but I'm just thinking like, I'm like, why are you giving me a ticket? Oh, because he can't go because he's going to be in Perth. He goes, I want you to have my ticket because I want you to have experience like the best fucking part of it.
I had a mad time with Dusty Martin in Bali one time. Maybe I can hit him up for a ticket.
Mate.
Has Dusty played 200? Surely.
He's won fucking 10 grand finals. But you know what I mean? Like even
Like
if
that name
you
drop.
win,
I was G'ing up, by the
you
way.
win grand finals.
Yeah.
If you've been part of that special day, which is like the highlight of everybody's career, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's
I
a good
think
shout.
it's just like maybe there's something the NRL, the RLPA, or something like
Yep.
they can really think about and just go, hey, what about our players who have done this? And you know,
Yep. The only thing that I was concerned about, I had assumed there would be more, but Lukey throwing out
there's not
270.
that many, mate.
No,
There is not that many.
That's doable.
That's very doable.
Having a section for 250 plus, just over.
And it's like it's not even. Maybe half of them won't turn up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, because if you only got one ticket, a lot of people would like to go with their families, unless they were mates. So, like, just say if you ring up your man Adam Perry, and he's keen to go, let's
Like,
go
no,
together.
Corey Hughes, all
Yeah.
these guys played over 200 first games. Brent Sherwin, 200 first games, grand final winners. You know, like it's I don't know. It's just something that you should do, and it makes you feel part of it.
Well, because there's only 270, I reckon we make the 120 games, and if you played in a grand final, because then I can go with it.
Yeah, bang. Come on, PVL. PVL, come on, PVL. I just think it's something that they should really look at, and to really to make people feel like they're still wanted in the game.
Yeah. No, it is nice.
And appreciated.
Appreciated is a big word for people that are involved.
You go there, you look at that, you bring back all your memories and everything like that, because that's the highlight of your career. If you win a grand final, you know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, you need to reminisce and you get with your old mates, and imagine if you had a whole section of just say 150 players that from every era, from 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and we're all just sitting there.
That'd be cool as a fan to see that. If I was a fan, if I was a neutral and I seen all your OGs over there, I'd be like, that's fucking mad.
And if you were smart enough, you'd book out a whole fucking thing, and then people could pay money to go and sit with all the greats.
Well, now you're talking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a way that you can make money. You could pay $2,000. You get to sit with all the greats. You get to mingle with all the greats from the 80s all the way to the 2020s. Fuck, mate.
Now you're talking. You got to talk money when you talk to PVL.
Yeah, so then you start making money. Yeah, you start making money.
There you go.
And I want to split 5%.
Love you, PVL. Also, it is time. I'm wearing a shout out to the left of field golf as well too. Yeah. Some of the best shirts going around right now in the golfing industry. But the golf tournament for Levels Golf Day is coming up. October 3rd, our golf day is coming up. Now the Sydney Marathon is officially behind me. I'm putting all my energy into the golf day. Yeah. We've got the majors done. Tick. Thank you to TAB, our proud partners here at Levels Network who've jumped on board, and Knuckles and the gang at Country Trucker Caps as co-major sponsors for the event. We're humming now. It's looking really good. Keep an eye out on socials tonight. I've got a number of players that are going to be resharing tickets available, individual tickets, or you can get them in a group as a gang. Gutho, Trell Mitt, Adam Reynolds, Geordie Rapps, Dill Walks, Lockie Galvin, Young Guns Lockie Galvin and Isaiah Katoa, and Rugby Union Convert, who is playing off one, who's almost off scratch, Carter Gordon for the Gold Coast Titans. So those are just a number of names that are turning up for the golf day. And
there's a heap more, isn't there?
There's a heap more, but those boys will be posted on behalf of us tonight, and there will be some more. That, unfortunately, will be dropping out of finals that will be available on the day. Yep. There are a couple of players that dropped out over the weekend. We'll let them just debrief, have their reviews. We'll catch up with them.
Isle of Vodka supplying the vodka and the RDTs.
Isle of Vodka, the seltzers.
Get on it.
Driving around in the drinks cart with our man, Rennie Matua.
6'1", Rennie Matua. I'm not sure if you're going to fit in the car. He might be too tall.
Oh, that's already 2 for Rennie, and he copped an absolute shellacking last episode as well.
He's getting everything on his Instagram page. Hey, 6'1", Rennie Matua. That's what they call it. That's his fault. That's how he answers the phone. That's how he answers the phone call every time I call him.
But he wants to be 6'1", Rennie Matua.
But he calls him. I ring him and say, "What's going on?" He goes, 6'1", Rennie Matua. He says it all the time. I'm like, Ren, I know you're 6'1".
Because he's got that mongrel, he's got that dog in him, like the mongrel's boots. The Aussie born and bred. Get them up for people, mate.
Yeah,
get them right in front of the noggin. How about these bad boys?
Favourite shoes of RLPA president, CEO, Clint Newton.
The great and powerful.
He loves it. The great and powerful Clint Newton.
And we've said this before.
He wears these every day.
When you go into negotiations with the likes of PVL, you've got to have that.
You have to have it on because you got to kick doors in.
You got to have that mongrel in you.
Yeah. You got to have that mongrel in you, but you got to be ready to kick a door in.
Yeah. Whether it's for work, like Clint Newton, or play like me and Mace, Mongrel has the perfect boot for you that are comfy as. And we've had listeners reach out who just absolutely froth them as well. Mongrel Boots manufacturing premium safety and non-safety boots crafted for the Aussie worker. Mongrel Boots are proudly Australian made and owned since 1930, Mace.
Pretty comfy,
1930. Mongrel Boots is backed by 5 generations of experience. So head over to mongrelboots.com.au to find your favourite boot and local retailer.
Do you reckon I could rock him with a suit on Channel 7 when I'm doing the NRL?
Easy. Yeah, get him going for us.
I'll see.
Get him. And we've reached out. They're pumped, with everything that we've been doing from the last couple of weeks. They want to get on long term as well. So shout out to the Mongrel Boots. Thank you to everyone who supports us as per. If you're watching this for the first time, maybe your mate's got you over. It's really important for you to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We're trying to get that to 30K by the end of the season. It's floating in the high north area of 28,000 at the
It'll
moment.
pick up semi-final time.
And Lukey really loves the thumbs up on the YouTube videos as well. We want 1,000 likes. That gets the algorithm pumping. That gets us to people that may not have seen us because it's finals time. And we're about to talk about the Bulldogs versus Manly at the end of the show as well. So you can imagine people are going to want to see that. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and leave a review on Apple or Spotify. Speaking of dogs, Mace, it is time to get to our BSC Dog of the Week. And your Dog of the Week, he's been a nomination only about a month ago. The only reason he didn't get a nomination was because he was missing the last 3 weeks.
There
But
was
he's back.
so many nominations, but I mean, some names like Ruben Cotter.
Dog.
Dog of all dogs. Liam Martin.
Dog.
of all dogs. Isaiah.
Dog.
Like, and I was...
He's held the fort.
KP. You know what I mean? DCE, Tommy, our boys, Bulldogs boys, they just kick out. You know, they had some brilliant efforts. But this guy here, Nathan Cleary, been out for 3 or 4 weeks. Everyone's like... And that's Rennie Matua had... he had a similar injury. 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, well,
that's the sort of injury it is, right?
Yep.
That's if you do it if you have the time to recover. That's what the time is, right?
Yeah.
Back in 3 or 4, and I was like, oh, what sort of Nathan Cleary's going to come back, right? Comes back, tries to put a shot on every time he tried to hit someone, it was a hit, and that just shows everyone in that team, I'm back. And then look what happened. It's just like when he's got that aura, like when Joey's on the field, you go to a next level. Everyone goes to that next level, and it's. I'll give him his flowers a lot, right? And the start, yeah, okay, but now he's got it. He's that dude, right?
Yeah,
he's the best half of the game. He's the best player in the game. He steps on the field, everyone goes to another level. Isaiah Yo just goes to another level. Fucking Leota, another level. Fisher Harris, another level. Liam Martin, they're all protecting him. I told you last week, we're crying trying to get at him. Who is he going to try and get? Boom, Liam Martin every time. You're not getting at him, son. You're not, because they love him so much and they have so much respect for that kid. And he goes out there and he wears his heart on his sleeve. He kicks good. He tackles good. He runs hard. He's just got that whole team. Whole Penrith just loves him. He is the prince. He's the prince of fucking Penrith. Yep. It's just, I don't give a shit about his stats. I don't care. I'm not even going to read them. Don't care. The way he kicks, the way he tackles, his leadership, the way he gets around, the swag that he's got, just does it. He's all about business, and that is a proper dog performance because everyone was questioning him. Is his shoulder good? Is he sure? Or what kind of man is he going to come back? They just went, you know what? You think you're all right, Roosters? You're fucking not that good. I'm here. You're done.
Hey.
You're done.
One part that I took from that, the swag. The swag is underrated. Tell me about his swag.
Oh, the swag,
what part of his swag do you like?
Just like the kicking game, he just looks around. He's just got that look. He's not animated at all. He's cold as ice.
But you can feel
he's
it.
cold, but he just looks. He looks at like Yowie. He looks at Fish.
Yeah.
He looks, you know what I mean, when he does a mad kick or if he hits or he does a mad play, sets a play up. Not over the top.
No.
Everyone else is a little bit over the top over there. And he just rolls in, shakes the hands, whatever. Thank you. Let's go again. He's all about business, mate. You can just see it in his walk.
You know where he gets his swag from? His old man.
Yeah.
His old man's got swag as well.
Yeah. He's still a cool cat too.
Different, like it's a different sort of. It's a confidence from the achievements that they've had over the last couple of years, but they don't have to prove it to anyone.
No.
So they just sit there, and it's not smug's not the word because
It's not smug, mate.
Smug is someone who thinks they're better than what they are. He is that dude, and he knows he's that dude, so therefore he doesn't have to portray it. And for me, that's the part when I look at Nathan, I'm just like, fuck, he's cool as fuck.
He's good. Fuck, he's good. You know what I mean? I'm just like, where do you put him now? Like, where do you put him? Like, I mean, I'm not. I saw a couple of things. He's the greatest ever. Like, shut up. Give him time. Give him another 5 years, and he's just going to. He's nearly overtaken Cooper Cronk in my book.
Well,
so
that's huge.
There's 2 more to go.
Okay, there you go.
That's it.
That was going to be
you
my
got
next
Joey
question.
and JT.
Yep.
And then you got him.
Yep.
I mean, Cooper Cronk slept on, but I just think Cooper Cronk's very systematic. He was like the best game manager of all time.
Yeah, we've been down the Cooper Cronk.
Yeah, we've been that
before.
Cooper Cronk thing. I'm not disrespecting him. Cooper Cronk's a top 5 halfback of all time.
That's
easy. That's massive. But this kid at now, 26 years old, he's run 3 premierships. You know, and everyone's going to judge him on their origin merits and shit. Like he's missed he's missed two, 3 series. He could be on 22 origins already at that age.
He's won 3 series.
Yeah, I know, but he's missed games, right? They're hard to get. They're hard to get. And I had a really good chat with him when I was at the New South Wales thing. I said, bro, they're hard to get. And I said, you know how that you get judged at the end of the day? And he goes, yeah, I know, origins. I said, you'll dominate that shit. I said, you just need to get that body right, mate. I said, that's all you need to do. You'll be up there in the Pantheon of great halves. You just got to get your body right. I said, but you know what they're like? When the Joeys and the JTs, because they've dominated that game.
Huge origin
And you keep saying origin moments. I think he's still at his origin moments, but he needs to dominate a whole series. Give him time. He's 26. He got another 5 or 6 years, 7 years at the 7.
You know what cost him was, I don't know if it was the 21, 20 or 22 when he had that mad game in Perth. He dominated, but then they lost.
And then they just got beat,
They lost the
little things like that. And you know what I mean?
He had that chip and chase. Benny Hunt charges it down.
Yeah, and that lost a little bit of the aura.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone
wins that series.
He wins that series. That's his origin moment. He gets a Wally Lewis medal and all this. But fuck that. He's 26 years old.
Yeah, of course.
Cooper Cronk's only played 22 origins.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? JT is probably arguably one of the greatest origin players of all time because he played 36 in a row. Shut up. Missed 10 minutes, I think, because he got sent for 10. That's about it. You know, Cam Smith, they're all but that juggernaut that they played in, I always go back to that. They played in the best rugby league team of all time.
Yeah.
For 10 to 14 years, and they were all a part of that.
Could potentially have 3 or more.
Right now, Origin is at its most even.
Yeah, great.
And that's why if he dominates Origin in the next 3 or 4 years, bro, he has it all. There's nothing in his game. At the start of the game, he didn't used to dig in the line, and I'm like, fuck, he's 18. You know what I mean? Like he's learned all these little things. He keeps adding things to his game every year, which the great guys do, which the Joeys do, the JTs do, the Cooper Cronks do. Now he's doing that. You know, you
could argue that even though they still had great careers at the start, they cemented their legacy in the back end.
The back end, that's what I keep saying to you when you're saying he's the best. Like he's an immortal. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm like, I know where he's going to be at the end of his career.
Yeah.
He's going to be a 300 gamer, over 20, 30 tests. And I think his tests are way down because he keeps missing the end of the year.
Yeah.
His tests are way down, but he's going to be a 20-plus Origin player, 20-plus test player, and then everything else like Cooper Cronk and all these guys. Cooper Cronk's won 6 premierships.
Yeah.
And that's taken 2 off him for 7 and 9.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So all those guys, and I count those.
Yeah, so
Heine doesn't, but I do. He was too busy doing nude trees.
I've got heaps of
But yeah, I can't wrap him enough. I just look at him and go, fucking hell, you just can't. What do you do? I'm not a hater. I live in right now, and I've seen enough. I've seen enough.
Yeah.
And if he wins another one, that's it. Yeah. Hang the boots up, son.
That's it. He's a weapon. My BSC dog of the week, unfortunately, Mace, I'm going against your team again, It was just purely on
one play,
special big moment for him, and it was a huge moment for us, being Manly legends, me and you. Even though it was against your Bulldogs.
I was conflicted watching it.
Tolu Kola with the play of the weekend in the game of the weekend, the moment of the weekend. What you got to remember is Tolu Kola's not 100% fit. We're talking about Nathan Cleary being busted where it's obvious that Tom Trbojevic isn't 100%. But Tolu Kola missed 6 weeks at the back end of the season, come back, started off the bench in his first game back, MCL.
See, yeah, that hampers a lot.
Well, his best weapon is his speed and agility. And so for him to come up with that play, when you break down that play, and we'll get into it in a little bit more detail as the game goes on, but Ches sees a really short little moment to find Tommy. They go through the hands. Ruben Garrick, really underrated part, coming off the right to be involved, gets a pass. It gets out to Benny Turbo. And Benny Turbo very quickly understands that he has to get the ball to Tolu Kola because he's going to be the one that's going to provide the space for probably someone else, or he could even do it himself. And that was my BSC dog moment of the week. Tolu
That's
Kola,
a dog moment of the year.
with only 1 boot, books Manly into the second week of the finals. And as an ex-Manly player, that's probably as proud as I've been for a Manly performance.
I get it.
In a long time. because the Bulldogs gave them everything, mate.
Oh, mate.
The Bulldogs, fans.
That was a game.
The fans gave them everything. We took our licks as a Manly team, as a Manly club, and we kept on fighting all the way until that try. And guess what? We didn't win it right on the bell. We had to defend and hold on to the lead for 8 minutes as well. So shout out to Tom and Kohler.
Well done.
My BSC dog.
We'll break that game down, but that's a just massive effort. Well done.
Yep. All right, let's get to some replies from the episode last week. And this is with regards to the Panthers boys when we talked about Spencer Leniu and Stephen Crichton's weddings. I hope the Panthers boys don't pull out of the Samoan tour. Those boys have been crying out for more international games. Representing your country is the biggest honour. I'm pretty disappointed to hear you guys calling for the boys not to go to England. We need to grow the international game. Clark Kent, we did not call for the boys to pull out of the game. We understood their reasoning. There's a difference.
And if you haven't played the fucking game, and if you didn't understand what we said, how long they've been playing, the efforts that they put into their club football, big runs into the semi-final, World Cups, playing for Samoa, doing everything for Samoa, got to a final 2 or 3 years ago. If they can't fucking sit back right now and go, okay, boys, let the next breed come through, and they can't have a rest, fucking shut up.
I'll do it in a nicer way, Clark Kent, because he does.
No, man, you got to let these guys. We're trying to grow they're growing the fucking game.
Yes,
these young kids, they're growing the game. The game's on their back. Luai, Critter, they all went and played for Samoa in that World Cup. If they choose to go to their best mate's wedding, you only get one wedding. They get to play for Samoa for the 5 or 6 years. If they can't do this for 1 year, you don't fucking understand.
Yeah, there you go, Clark Kent. And we also didn't suggest that they
suggest shit.
We understood their reasonings.
And if they don't want to play, you should understand. I understand if you're a fan, but you understand from where we're coming from as ex-players. I know exactly what they've put into the game, and for the Samoan, for that whole island. You know what I mean? I understand. I'm Polynesian. I understand how much it means. Right? So don't ever question their integrity or anything like that and say they should play, try and grow the game. It's fucking grown. They got to a final a couple of years ago. Samoa's fucking up there like that. Tonga's up there like that. We're there because of these guys. The Taumalolos, Fafitas, all those brothers that have went, brush the fucking Aussie jersey, brush the New Zealand jersey. We're going to play for Tonga and Samoa. So just fucking ease up.
Ease up, Clark.
Fuck.
All right, the next one's from Fox Gaming. I was going to go on nicer way with it,
fuck it, mate.
Hey, I can understand.
If you can't understand that shit, don't write stupid shit.
All right. But continue to write stupid shit so we can talk about it. Fox Gaming, T May. This is on the back of T May, Taylor May. He did his ACL at Penrith in the rain in the World Club Challenge. Yeah. He said it was a hip drop tackle. Then the general, Luke Patton, big fan of the show, he come on and corrected him. He said close, but it was a cannonball tackle. Help the third man in, the tackle that we hate the most as well. So, and then there was also the reason he missed the grand final wasn't because of the ACL. The year before, he did his hammy out at Penrith and missed the finals in 2022, hence why Charlie Staines played. Remember, Mace? So that was off the back of us talking about not only the greatness of the players, but also the coaching staff and the medical team and the facilities at Penrith and Penrith Park. So there you go. There's a bit of a wrap on that. This one is from Cameron Brady. Hello, uncles. I'm a big football/soccer fan, and there's a culture of swapping jerseys with your opponent post-game. Wondering if there's any gun jersey swaps you got, or is this not really a league thing? You'll have heaps.
Let me go through this fucking hell. Got Darren Lockyer's Aussie jersey, Cam Smith's, JT, Greg Inglis, Andrew Johns.
All Aussie jerseys or New South Wales?
Sonny Bill, Test jersey. Adrian Morley, Great Britain jersey. Peacock, I think Peacock's Great Britain jersey. Tony Puletua's New Zealand jersey.
Fuck, TP was a dog.
Who else?
That's
fucking hell. There's a few. Danny Badiris. Petro.
Did you swap after every game?
Yeah, yep. Petro. Matty Cooper, Jared Hayne. These are all New South Wales ones.
Yep. Hainsey gave me a jersey. I got
Hainsey's,
but I didn't swap anything back. He just gave it to me.
So these are all rep jerseys, either New South Wales, Australia, or New Zealand.
Yeah.
No club ones because no one really gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. Like something, fair few.
Nice.
That's about it.
I got
the main dog, the big dog. Got Minicellos, minis.
Oh yeah, nice.
The GI, all those blokes. Yeah, got them all.
Not a bad list. I got Hainsey and Munster, but I had nothing to swap them back, so they just gave.
No, man, it's good. I made sure because I knew. I was like, oh shit, because you get 2 jerseys every game.
Yeah.
Right. So, what's the point of keeping the other one? Like you swap your game one or you swap your spare one.
No.
You know, and I've given most of my. I
got the dirt on both of ours, so I got the game.
I've got a lot of club jerseys. The amount of gear that I've got is a fucking joke. It gives me anxiety.
I can't wait. You got to like have a full on man cave, set it up, and get all those jerseys.
Nah, fuck no. I'm not signing anything. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna get them framed. No.
No way.
No, I'm just not that sort of person. I just won't. I won't get them framed. I won't get.
That would be like, that's not even something recognition for you. That's recognition for the players that you got there. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm not signing their jersey. I'm not.
No, you don't have to sign them.
I'm not going to get them framed. I just have them. I give most of them away. I go to charities and stuff and give my jerseys away and everything like.
Not your jerseys.
Yeah, all the other ones, like whatever. Okay. But like, because I'm like, I don't feel that strong about it to hang it up on a wall or anything like that. I'm like, it's because it's all. I think the 70s, 80s, and 90s where there wasn't on camera and it wasn't there. They frame it because that's the only memory that they have. Like I know that what I did. I know what I played. I played against these guys, and I'm like, okay, I'm not like. I just don't. I'm not that sort of guy. I just don't. I'll never. My grand final jersey. Like I don't even know. I know it's at home, but I haven't looked at it for 20 years.
But how do you think it would be cool? Like you know what you did. You know what you achieved. Yeah. You know the games and players you played. Yeah. Imagine just walking into a man cave, sitting there watching footy, and then just like watching games and then going, gee,
yeah,
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't look at it cool. Like so I've gone and I go to like. So I got Tiger Woods's. What I got his Tiger Woods
memorabilia.
Remember I got Tiger Woods's fucking when he won the US Open.
Yeah.
With David Beckham's boot.
That's different. That's like
so I got that.
You played against these guys and you were there. You were there.
I got Michael Jordan's signed jersey.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's WBC heavyweight title belt.
That should all be up there as well for sure. Yeah, but it's different. You actually sweat and
I just
bled
I'm
with
like
those players. You know.
I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just not like that.
It's just not you.
It's just because if I was, it'd be already up there. Do you know what I mean? It'd be like a jersey would be up there or anything like that. I was like, what are you doing like with your first jersey? I don't know where my first Kangaroo jersey is. Mum gave it away. She's Tongan. You know what I mean? Like that'd be one that I actually cared about.
Yeah.
Like my first Test jersey.
Yeah.
And I gave it to Mum, and Mum like probably give it away to some fucking person when they're just having a barbecue or something.
You are truly one of a kind. There's no other person like you.
I know, and I haven't, but I give him, as I said, I give him to people that it means more to them than it means to me because it's always going to be in my head. I lived it. I breathed it. I've done it.
My mum and dad got my
where I'm like, jersey. You know what? Fucking give it to a charity. Someone buys it and goes, shit, yeah, that's his jersey. He played in it. It's all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, cool. Yeah. That was cool. They all respect. They love it more than me because I did it. That's the way I think. I don't need it on the wall to go. Fuck yeah, I did this.
Yeah, but you always think of the negative side of things.
No, but I look at the positive.
So many people walk in and go, "Fuck!" Like they wouldn't go, "Oh, you're mad because you got locked."
Yeah, but no one's going to be in my. I don't invite many people around my house anyway.
Well, the only one who will speak negatively is Rennie, who comes around for a feed on Sunday.
I'll just cross his head out.
Everyone else would think 99.9% of people would go, "That's fucking awesome. Hey, how good's that?" Like Joey. You think of the 1% that go, oh, you think you're mad.
No. That's just the way I think.
Oh, no.
It's just not the way.
I know you do.
I just think like, it's like, no, I don't. Why would I have it on the wall? Like I could just.
That's why people love this podcast.
I could just watch it on YouTube. I could just watch my highlights on YouTube if I want an ego boost. Oh shit, that was mad. What, did I do that? Fuck yeah, I did. You know?
Oh, that's awesome. All right, this one's from Zachary Newby. This potty keeps getting me through my studies, boys. I know you don't want to talk about the Bronx anymore, but I thought it'd be worth a short hypothetical. Do you think the Broncos would be where they are now if they had won the grand final last year, or would it be any different?
Well, I just go back to the 2015 grand final and what happened to them then. How many guys fell off. Anthony Milford was a bee's dick off winning Clive Churchill.
Yep.
Benny Hunt. All these guys, it took them a long time to get back. Split that sort of group up. McCulloch went. Ben Hunt went. A few guys left. A couple of guys retired. All that sort of shit.
When did Hunty leave? After the 16 season?
Oh, I'm not sure. He's been there for a while.
Yep.
Corey Oates. All these guys, they just fell off a cliff.
Oatsy's still just retired this week.
He's fucking 29.
Huh?
Oatsy's 29.
Yeah, but he only just retired this season.
Yeah, I know that, but he should be nearly in his prime. He's 29.
Yeah, okay. That's
You know, he just fucking, he played for Australia and Queensland around about that time.
Yeah.
16, 17, he was fucking up there.
Yeah.
He
So is that an example of how
not sure.
that season affected?
Yeah,
some
I
of
think
those
it
players?
really, really affected that whole thing. Yeah, Josh Maguire, like he left, he went to the Cowboys. You go through that whole squad. Alex Glenn stayed there for a while. He stayed there till the death. Alex Glenn did.
Can you think of
Corey Parker retired?
Can you think of
couple years
any
later?
Teams that have won and still dramatically fell off in the grand final the next year? Not really, eh?
Not through injury. Like 2005, we had 9 starters out for us.
Yeah.
So we weren't really going to do anything. But
How'd you go that year? Did you go?
we just missed out on the 8.
Yeah.
But we had like 9 starters out. Well, I missed 20 games. Oga missed 15.
That's comparable to Broncos then this year.
Yeah. You have a lot of injuries, but they still had this. They had their core. They had their core there. They had Walshy in that there from the start of the year. They had Payne Haas. They had their back line was red hot.
Carrigan played most.
Everybody was there, mate. You know, until the end of the year. When that part where they just missed it, they lost a few games.
I can hear people screaming out already. Reynolds missed a big chunk.
Can't rely on one person.
It feels like Walshy would have missed about 6 games. Who else?
If that's Andrew Johns, right? If that's Andrew Johns missing out because he's the only guy that can hold that much energy into a team. If that's Andrew Johns missing out on like Ant Reynolds, yeah, I can understand. But not when you've got Payne Haas, not when you've got Flegler, not when you've got like some absolute guns.
That's fair enough.
They just fell off, mate. And I just think and I think it has to be something to do with last year. Like it's fucking hard. Like that would have been hard to bounce back from. This is one of the worst defeats I've ever seen.
Yeah, it would have been tough.
And I'm not sure. And that's where, coaching comes into it, leadership comes into it. You got to galvanize. You got to get over it, and it's harder than it's said. Harder than it just. You know, I'm saying
Easy
this
said,
now.
yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it has to. It has to have something to do with it, man. Like because you can't fall off. And you, granted, Flegler's gone, Herbie's gone, and that's about it.
Yep.
That's your main guys. They're 2 guys who had their probably breakout years. But you still had some fucking fair players around there.
They're still sending players.
That is an absolute gun team. They should not be not playing in the finals.
Yeah. This one's from Katatia04. Hey boys, watch this a bit of late, and I don't know if you will see this, but I just have a question for Scope. I'm a massive NRL fan, but I'm currently playing in State League for basketball here in Hawkesbury. I'm one of those players who can do a job at my position, but not enough to be called a star. So he's obviously asking me. I can respectfully say I was a gun before I did.
No disrespect.
I did my ACL, but now I'm just another role player, continuously getting benched for whole games or even left out of the squad. I just want to know what you would do or how you would stay motivated to keep me going. Currently contemplating quitting, but just wanted to get some insight from a pro who can sort of relate to my situation. Keep up the good work. And definitely my favourite potty. Boys, up the wires, up the levels, and up the Hawkesbury Jets. Tia, you've got the right mindset, mate. And I was dropped 3 times during my career. Every single time, I guess the main thing for me was, and I think Mace can attest to this because he was there in 2015, I always prided myself on being a good locker room guy.
Yeah.
I never let the disappointment that I had by not playing affect my relationships in the team and with coaches. I always try to make sure that I had full support for the players, and at times
I never even knew that you were dropped in 2015 because I saw you every day and the way that you carried yourself, which is a credit to you. It's a credit to you because I was like, when you told me I was dropped for like 10 games, I was like, what? I thought you were part of the squad the whole time.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I actually thought you were, and you went, no, I was out for like 10 games. I was like, fuck off.
Playing New South Wales.
Yeah. And you got yourself,
tough,
and you got yourself back in.
Yeah.
But you'd never ever drop your level of training or mindset or your personality, because you know when some people get dropped, the personality drops, and then everyone's fucking kicking rocks every day. You never did that, so that's great for you.
Cheers, mate. And that's how I sort of, that was one thing I'd take away, especially by the time of Manly. Obviously, when you're younger at Parramatta, it was tougher because I felt like I was ascending. The part about Manly was tough was I thought and when I look back on and reflect, probably got a little bit carried away, thought I'd locked in my position, had to re-earn it again at Manly.
Yeah, I thought you locked it in.
There's just different things and different mindsets that you take away. Like I said, I think this is why this podcast works great, where I can always give you the perspective of a guy that's had to sort of toil away, been dropped a few times, and then Mace obviously gives you, when we start talking about the elite of the games, he can answer all those questions. So thanks for the support, bro. And
keep grinding, mate. Just keep grinding. And just be all these things are tests for you, right? Don't look at it as a negative sort of, everyone's like, oh my God, everything's against me, ACL, all that kind of stuff. If you want it, just keep fucking grinding, son.
That's
and
it.
Keep getting after it. Keep improving.
Be a good teammate.
Yeah, be a good teammate, and just don't kick stones around, because fucking people hate that shit.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than you reflect.
And just keep working on your game, mate. It's basketball. It's reps. It's habits. Skill set. Every day, non-stop. Work on your craft.
Yep. So Kempy, big supporter of us, obviously, at levels.
That ad? Good said ad. Oh, Kempy nailed it.
So Kempy and his coffee company, Grumpy Coffee, they're also supporting the day. He's going to have a card out there for the golf day.
Yeah.
And Kempy does he gets our man Luke to help out.
I'm going to be spiking the coffees. Extra caffeine.
Well, it doesn't need it if you've got fucking Big Fisher Harris and Moses Liotta. How good are those two?
Oh, guys? I love those two.
Even just Fisher's face on that thumbnail.
They call them the Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
It'd be filthy at that.
Who?
Paul Gallen and Greg Bird. They reckon they're the. I remember back in the day, the Bash Bros. I remember when we played Origin. I think it was 06 or 07. They both did the Bash Brothers front page. And I fucking love Gallen. I love Birdie. We used to call them, so me and Ogie used to fucking call them the Bash Bros all the time when we used to play. Oh, watch out for the fucking Bash Brothers and my Bashers. Fucking hell. And they did. They tried. Birdie would try, Gallen that. They went hard, those two blokes. When they were mid-2000s, when they were going at it, the Cronulla, they were fucking hard to play against.
Yeah.
Those two little pricks.
Yeah, they were dogs, aren't they?
You had Birdie at 5'8", just smacking the shit out of
It's funny now because, when you know them personally, the
Birdie's
stigma, all that, I can't. The relationship now I have with Birdie, even though I knew how he's a gun.
He's a fucking gun.
When we talk about
slept
players,
on, mate. He's a fucking
physical. He was a dog. He's a bit dirty.
Skill set high.
But the version that I know of Birdie now, the teammate that I had,
you can't understand him. He's never coming on a podcast because we can't understand him. Get your fucking voice fixed, Birdie. I can't even have a conversation with him. Fucking done.
I did a potty with him early on, and it's a tough listen, and he knows this as well. But we had a laugh about it, and me and him we're always in contact now because he's coming to the golf day as well. Birdie will be at the golf day.
He's a fucking great human. Hey, Rutherford boy. Tries to claim East Maitland. Rutherford.
grumpycoffee.com.au to pre-order. There you go. Go and get on board. Thanks for Kempy for supporting the day.
Yeah, good on the Bash Brothers too. And they are the OG. They're the new Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
And if you didn't know, watch that fucking Friday night game.
New and improved Bash Brothers.
Ooh. I thought Ogre and Razza were the Bash Brothers. Ogre and Razza, they put that first in early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then
Birdie and Gell took it.
They tried to take it.
And now Liotta and
they can have it, mate. They can have it as long as you get out there and do your business.
They did their business on Friday night.
Me and Ogre did our business. So did Razza and Birdie and Gal did. Now these guys are taking the fucking flag, but they're capitalised on it. Because they got Bash Brother t-shirts and shit.
Yeah, but fucking
I reckon Birdie will be filthy. I reckon he's going to see him and Gal start going to make some t-shirts.
So
I know Gal loves his coin.
Yeah, for sure. He wants to copyright
love you, boys.
I don't even know Gal like that. Sorry, Gal. Apologies. Here's one for you, and you'll love this. So I was watching the game on the weekend, and for whatever reason, for everything that I've said about the Roosters against Penrith and Melbourne Storm, and I was like, why didn't I pick the Panthers?
Did you pick fucking Roosters?
I picked the Roosters in an upset, and I always go the points, right? I prefer the points. And after mentioning last week, so after the review of the Titans game, what do we say? We're going to see their best effort week 1 of finals. And then I wrote down a few questions in my head, I wrote these in the notes. Was it because I think they're fatigued? Yeah, probably that played a part. Was I concerned about Nathan's shoulder?
Yep.
Yeah, that probably played a part as well. They've continually lost personnel every year. Yeah, probably I'm expecting a drop-off at some point. You know what the realisation is? I come to it at the end. I'm jealous of the Penrith Panthers. And what I mean by that is...
in a good way.
In the best possible way. They're similar now to the jealousy that I had of the Melbourne Storm for so long, where I wanted to be a part of that culture. I wanted to be a part of that team. And when I'm watching the Penrith Panthers, I'm like, the reason there's deep down that hater inside of me is because you just love to be a part of them. And that's where I am with the Panthers right now. And I've fully accepted it because I grew up in Western Sydney. I grew up at St. Clair. I never got the opportunity to play at Penrith. There was a bit of a, like, I never got picked as a junior, so there's that sort of resides
a lot of elements,
which is natural. You would have had that for Newcastle for a long time,
all the
right?
time. And
they're just so good, and there's a bit of jealousy, and I'm proud enough to admit it that there's jealousy.
But you're from out there, that's why. Yeah. And that would probably like get you. And it's just same as me from Newcastle. I used to hate Newcastle for years because they fucked me over like that. You know, like I thought I should have been playing there for my whole career. You know, and I didn't. But it is what it is. Got down the Bulldogs and fucking end of story.
But in saying that, I also had that for Melbourne just because of the class that they had and how good like players like me of my level would go down there and go to another level.
Go to another level.
So it's similar to that in a sense as well. It's not that's a part of it, but then there's also a big part of me that's like just playing in a really good culture with really good coaching, with really good leadership. And I was lucky enough to play in that at Manly. I felt like I really had that at Manly. That was a great culture to be a part of. But they're just a couple of franchises, a couple of
mate, they're
teams
the
like,
real deal, man.
Yeah.
I mean, and I said it last week, and I was a little bit apprehensive when I said it, when I was like, they're going to flex, right? They're going to do it. Because I still had a little bit of faith, but I'm still like thinking like you. I'm like, maybe they don't have it. They sort of just skim through the year. They fucked around this year and finished second. Do you know what I mean? And then they're going, you know what?
They limped into second position.
And then they go, in their head, we're not limping in. Yeah. We're just going to turn it up when we get to that first final and show everyone we're fucking going for 4. And that's what they did. The Roosters had no hope. Even though they had a 10-minute period where they scored a couple of tries, after that, done. They never looked like winning.
We'll get to the forward pass in a bit.
That changed the game.
Yeah, that could have changed the game. That was a pivotal, but we always like to start on the winners.
Bad call.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
But like Penrith, methodical, aggressive, like Leota, Fish, Yowie played outstanding. He was outstanding. Luai, like just everybody was on. Toto was on. Edwards was on. Like everyone was on. So I said they get 3 or 4 weeks, like Edwards, 3 or 4 weeks to get that knee right. Fish, to get that groin right. It's just the perfect timing. They're going to go for a run. Good luck trying to beat those guys.
Out of them in Melbourne, they needed the break better than anyone, more than Melbourne, and they will be the team that benefits more than Melbourne, in my opinion, with the week off, because they did start to look a little bit sore at the back end of the game as well. Like Dylan that knee looked grouse in the first half, and then it looked a little bit sore in the second half. It didn't look
that sore when he made that 80-metre break.
Yeah, I know, and then James Fisher-Harris, he looked like a little bit sore, like he looked good at the start of the game. It's only natural. Like those guys, they front-loaded all their energy, they got the result, and then at the back end, they're like, all right, now we can pull back.
It's an easy word to say when you say, hey, let's front load, let's really give it to them. Yeah. And like a lot of teams say that before games, but they can't do it.
Can't execute.
They front load and go up another 10%. And they do it collectively as a team, and everyone's on the same page, and it's scary as hell. Because that other team, like the Roosters, are probably going, let's fucking get it. We need to start off good. We need to do this, this, and this. No, you can't. You didn't have, you just couldn't do it. Like Lindsay Collins, Terrell May, like nowhere near Leota and Fish and Yowie. And they're no disrespect to any of those Roosters players, but I'm like, they were way off what the Roosters were, and they were there to play.
Yes. They had everything to play for.
But I'm just thinking, I always go like the top 4 when we get to the pure elimination games. I'm just like, you got a second chance.
I want to add some stuff to the Nathan Dog of the Week that you talked about. And you mentioned it right at the start, and it was noticeable for me. So not only did Nath not start the game solid, he went after the game defensively first. So what that did was, I reckon, just like all of us presumed, Roosters would have done a whole heap of video and they would have had a whole heap of, the great and powerful Clint Newton.
Answer it.
Hey, Nudo. Hey, legend, you're on the podcast, mate, with the great and powerful Willie Mason. I've got you on loudspeaker.
How are you, son?
What's going on?
Just giving the RLPA a massive rap.
That's just how we roll.
You did get a mention at the start of the show, mate. We're talking about the golf day, which I'll have to chat to you about a little bit after the potty, but we're chatting about the boots that you wear and everything, mate. So I'll give you a call back after the potty, eh?
Yeah, no worries.
See you, Nudo.
See you, Nudo.
Slap on the porks.
Never.
See you, mate.
Good man.
Yeah, so with Nathan, what he did was, because, you know, everyone who, if you're a fan, you would have said, all right, let's test out that shoulder. And Roosters would have done that, and they would have got into the game and talk about getting smacked in the face. Nathan not only comes out and defends well, he went after it physically, which if you're Luke Keary, Joseph Swiley, and Angus Crichton, you would have thought, hey, all that shit we talked about getting at Nathan, that ain't going to happen.
Forget about it.
Yeah, forget
and
about
he
it.
come on that, he was right three, wasn't he? And he come flying out on his left shoulder, which is his injured shoulder, and just jammed in. I'm not sure who it was. It was one of their big boys.
I think it was a middle, yeah.
It was a middle.
I remember the one
he
you
went
talking about.
bang. I was like,
It was a statement, right?
what do you do?
No, it's a statement.
Yeah, it's a statement hit. And
It's
everyone,
a tactic from him as well.
and he just goes, you know, I'm here, boys.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me. I'm not a spot.
Do you believe it was a tactic to say, hey, yeah, I'm showing you that I'm not only not a spot.
Oh, for
I'm still
sure. I'm going to
fucking
bang you.
jam Yeah.
I'm going to get you. You know what I mean? You want to run at me? You think I'm going to go at like 70% and manage it and all that kind of stuff and rely on my inside help? No,
Yeah.
I can take care of myself. Then they would have went, fuck.
And then also what he did with the ball as well, he sent all their shape at Keary. So therefore he fatigued Keary, he fatigued Angus Crichton and Joseph Swiley. They didn't have the energy to run back at him.
No. Crichton was nullified.
really
I told
really
you.
good footy IQ.
I told you he'd get nullified by the fucking dog of all dogs, Liam Martin. He went after it. He was close. If he finished the game like how he started, because he set the standard for that team.
Yeah.
He was kick chasing, banging everything that moved. No one got near Cleary, and he was making his one-on-ones, and they were aggressive as hell. He was so aggressive with his runs. I was just like, oh, fucking hell. And I mean, like, him and Angus Crichton are the two best back rollers in the comp.
Agreed.
And
Ali Katoa.
Ali Katoa.
Ola
you just,
Kawata.
you know,
Fuck, we've got some good back rows
Yeah,
at
some
the
really
moment.
good back rolls at the moment.
Kicks.
But Liam Martin, the way he does the kick chasing, the 80-minute efforts, everything, he doesn't fatigue, and he just goes after it. And I just went, fuck, good luck. Good luck, Roosters.
He's another player that's looked banged up going into the last month. Martin, Dylan Edwards, and Fish were my biggest question marks going into the games with their injuries outside of the obvious one, Nathan.
Yeah.
And all four of them looked fucking unbelievable. In the
outstanding.
first half.
Like they looked outstanding. They didn't look like they were like struggling at all.
Yeah.
And then Isaiah Yeo.
Isaiah's been doing
What do you
Isaiah.
do? What do you do
Him
with
and
him?
Toto have got to the point now where we just expect it, so therefore they don't get their flowers, but we should be giving them the flowers.
His stat line is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's and Brian Toto was back to Brian Toto's stuff.
Yep.
Dylan Edwards was back to his stuff. Taruva was back doing his stuff. They just looked like a complete demolition of the Roosters. And what are your thoughts about not starting Spencer Leniu?
All right, let's get to the Roosters side of it. All right, we'll start off with Spencer Leniu. I can understand Spencer coming off the bench if, look, we discussed it as well, and we said it was going to be
If Leota or Fish comes off.
Yeah, well, you couldn't figure out who's the team, or can you wait a minute after and see where their team lists are coming out?
Not really. Sometimes you can, but like just me, regardless. I'm like, okay, you got a guy who's played there. He's won 3 premierships in a row, right? He's saying all week it's going to be a war. I can't wait. Blah blah blah. Saying all the right things. He's going to go fucking after it regardless.
Yeah, good point.
You got Terrell May, who I've got a big rap on, but he's not a starter yet.
Yep. Okay.
Lindsay Collins, Hargraves. If you had Hargraves start Spencer on the bench, I don't care.
Gotcha.
Right?
All right,
but
sweet.
you
That was
got
gonna
no
be my next
Hargraves, so you start that young kid who would have went at Fish and he would have went at Leota.
Look how aggressive you get when you start talking.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, and I know because he's saying the right things, and you fucking wait 22 minutes to put him on. It's 20-0.
Yeah,
What do you want him to do?
Yeah.
He's going to do Spencer Leniu things, but like you need to start that. I know he comes off the bench really well. Blah blah blah. Plays great for Penrith off there. He was playing off the bench because he got Spencer Leniu and Leota in front of him.
He's got Leota and Fisher Harris.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like he's got those guys there.
Yeah.
Not when you got Hargraves out. You start that young dog, man, and you let him go at it as hard as he can for 20 minutes, and then bring him off.
I agree with that in hindsight. I sort of seen the understanding to begin with, but you're right. I agree with you now.
Yeah, then you just. But I don't care if Leota had to come off the bench or something like that. Then you rely on a Terrell May to come on there and do a job.
Okay.
You know, but don't let your team
Terrell
get
May
blown
against-
off. Terrell May
against Lindsay Smith. Like,
yes, something like that. Who cares, right? They're not animals.
Yeah.
They're good young players, but they're not
Ascending
Leota. They're not fish. You know, Lindsay Collins needs to fucking man up and just try and kill people.
All right, I've got a question for you. This is where I want to jump in very quickly.
He needs to go at it.
So for everything that I've said about JWH, 300 gamer, the intimidator, the enforcer, Jared isn't necessarily a big stats guy, or not anymore, but he still has that aura about him, right?
Fuck yeah.
So moving forward, life after Jared, who takes over in your opinion? Is it either Spencer or Lindsay Collins that has to become that guy?
Lindsay Collins needs to play like he plays Origin.
Yeah, okay.
Every single game.
Yeah.
Like he's got a big motor, he does all the little things and everything like that, but in attack and defense, he needs to go at Fish, right? Like, and go at Leota. Leota was just running through people, man.
It's sort of not his style though.
I know, but like it's semi-final football.
Yeah, okay.
He's played like that. He's got man of the matches in Origin.
Yeah, but he doesn't get it through enforcing. He gets
I know, but he
things,
needs to have that in his game, bro. He needs it. He's 6'4", 5, 116 kilos, fit as hell. He should be like. He's about that.
Here's ones for you, and I think you'll like this comparison. Do you reckon Lindsay Collins is more of a Jesse Bromwich type number one, where Jesse wasn't really an enforcer, but he did big minutes, did all the little stuff.
But I think Jesse,
is that more of a comparable?
Yeah, but Jesse's got mad footwork. He had a little bit of a tip on. He had he had a lot of like strings to his bow when Jess played in his prime, man. Okay. He was hard to hit.
But you understand the
I understand but like he just needs. He's a big dude and he's fast and he's fit.
Yeah.
Lindsay just needs to just go, not even think about passing, just go at their best player.
Yeah.
He's their best forward. You know, he's young, he's fit, he's in his prime right now.
Yep.
Right,
Agreed.
he can't get dominated by Moses and Fish like that again. Spencer wouldn't have got done like that in the first 20. It would have been meeting a brick wall versus a brick wall.
He did change the game when he come on.
Yeah, but the game was over.
Yeah.
The game was over when he come on. He'd be sitting on the bench he'd be sitting on the bench, right? Just in 10 minutes, 15, furious.
I reckon at 10-0 they should have got him on. I reckon that would have been enough for me. I would have because I know you got to think about your substitutes and the long. I would have gone after 10 minutes. I would have gone, this isn't working. Because I agreed with Robbo. I would have started Spencer off the bench because I thought, you think that your middles are going to be able to withstand that barrage to begin with. They didn't. Once they lost that momentum, I would have gone, fuck it, just get Spencer out there. I
just look at how, like Terrell May, how he plays. He's a big minute. He can play massive minutes, right?
Yep.
But he's not fucking hyper aggressive where he just needs to go at like he would not go near Fish or Leota.
It's not really in his nature.
No, it's not in his nature. He's got more football in him. He can tip out the back.
Yep, big
Spencer,
minutes,
bang, go at it. And it's tribal. You know what I mean? And he knows these guys. He's been at them. He's been trained with them. They're brothers, you know what I mean? They'll go at each other flat out until fucking no one's going to win. No one's going to just be boom, 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 boom.
You don't need to win, do you? You just need to cancel each other out.
You just need to cancel each other and Leota not find his front every time he plays the ball. Quick play the ball, bang, bang, bang. Like Fisher Harris, bang, bang, bang. Or comes off that one or two quick play the balls that Penrith get, and then you lose the ruck, and then Yowie gets it, and then then they kick it in the corner. As I said, like Dom Young, all these guys, they just got found out. You can't do that against Penrith. If you had, as I said, you had JWH, no one's fucking with him.
All right, well, JWH is back this week, so we'll see what sort of impact he has. All right, they did nearly...
And I'm not saying that they would have won, but they wouldn't have got beat. They wouldn't have been 22-0 after 15 minutes.
Yep, that's fair enough to say. This one is off the back of, and they did nearly get back into the game at 24-10. They had an opportunity to go to 24-16.
That's big.
And this is the explanation from our man. Graham.
Is this the explanation?
Yeah. Put it close to the mic too as you watch it.
I've kind of lost count of the number of times this year that I've been asked about passes, whether they're forward, whether they're back. I think that particular decision, when you look at it on the broadcast view, it's not clearly a forward pass. In fact, you could argue that looking at it from the broadcast perspective, that it looks like it's an okay pass. But the referee is right there. He makes an instinctive judgment based on what he sees. He reacts immediately. He's in a good position. We can argue the point about forward passes. There were probably, if we go through all 4 games, we'd find other passes that you
Pass is good, man.
Fine.
It's simple.
You know, against in any of those games with any of those teams.
He's
involved.
mumbling.
So I'm not trying
Just fucking admit it was.
to avoid giving you an answer.
You are avoiding it.
Was it forward or was it not? I mean, it doesn't look forward on the camera angle.
Fence sitter.
You know, if we had the ability, which we don't, to have a camera in a drone hovering directly,
Yeah, you can.
to give you the exact perspective, would it show something different? I don't know.
I've got something for you after this. That's plenty. 'Cause
Fucking
that's
hell.
That's enough.
Make it.
Here, let me summarise this best as well. Or like, you know, we've been overly critical. I'm not overly critical. We've been
Does he
critical.
watch games?
Yes, apparently. And then this is what he does every Monday. So my thing with the ruling, clearly back, if you're going to do a video explanation and you've done video explanations in the past, that's as clear as you're ever going to get on footage.
It went out of his hands backwards. It was a normal pass.
It's clearly backwards, right? And it was a crucial part of the game. I don't care about whether Roosters would have come back and win. Oh, well, as in, people will always talk about the result off the back of the call. I just want to make sure the calls are right. But this is where, for Ashley Klein, and I know it's a bad decision and it was forward pass calls, and I've been on the back of a really bad one in a really crucial moment for me during my playing career in a grand final where a pass went forward. When you go back and watch it, it was clearly forward. It's the one part or the one rule where I can understand human error. Right, like to make an error on a forward pass is understandable. Was the pass forward? No, it was clean and it should have been a try. But it's you can't get everything exactly right. But if you do break it down on a Monday after you're watching that footage, how can you not just come out and say, "Look, it was clearly backwards"? Like
because the whole referees it's just a shit show. That's why.
It's just so confusing.
And why can't we go back and use the bunker on big decisions like this?
Because I think we overuse the bunker. And
I know for this is the fucking very important
That's an extreme example for me. I think a lot more 50-50, and we'll go to the Bulldogs
I've always said this for years. I'm like, why can't we use the bunker for forward passes that are tries? That end up being tries like that or end up being tries in massive games. Why can't we use it? It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. We use it for everything else, and we sit there and use it for the fucking for 5 minutes over the stupidest shit where it doesn't really no outcome of the game. But like this could determine the outcome of the game, right?
And they've got to be clear.
And we never ever use it.
Yeah.
Why?
I think they're worried about momentum. A few things that come into it, like there's.
But the bunker just wastes so much fucking time on dumb shit. If you're going to waste time on things like that where it actually matters, use it. Like that's what it's there for. We got technology in this game, and you're costing teams. Like they're not saying that Penrith Roosters going to win it. That's a massive momentum changer. You know how hard it is to get momentum against Penrith,
sure. And they were rolling too.
They were on.
Because scoreboard, that applies scoreboard pressure.
Geez.
And again, if you're a Roosters fan, it doesn't guarantee you win. And if you're a Panthers fan and you're listening to this, it doesn't guarantee that the Roosters win. We're not saying that.
No,
you just want to make sure the correct calls are made at the right parts of the game.
Get it right.
And I am a little bit more sympathetic to our man Ashley, which I'm not normally like, because I think
I'm fucking not.
The forward passes, live calls for referees.
He was there. Standing there.
Do you know what I think? And this is where I'm critical. This is where
bring back the G-man.
This is where I will be critical on him. Agreed, the G-man. I thought the referees for the most part were pretty good,
apart from him,
except for a couple of bad forward pass calls. The Lehigh Hopewadi one was bad as well. I thought that was a forward pass in the Bulldogs game. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But what I reckon is prevented Ashley, because Teddy was slightly in front of Toops, but Toops throws it behind him. Tedesco's back is blocking his vision from the line of this. So, in my opinion,
what's the fucking linesman doing?
Well, it's got to be if it wasn't the linesman's call, then I'm not. I feel sorry for being critical on Ashley, but for me, it looks like Ashley Klein has made an educated guess that it was forward when he didn't really see it.
Another thing, right?
Do you agree with that?
Yes. Why can't they just let it play out and then review it?
Yeah.
That'd be all right. Let it go. We score the try. Okay, let's review that. See if it was a forward pass. And then if it's fucking clearly forward or back, Rule it on that.
Okay, so there's plenty that are 50-50. Leave it as the grey area.
But if it is, we've seen some passes that are clearly forward and they've let it slide, and then that one is clearly not forward. It needs to go to the bunker. Let the whole play out, score the try, and we're like, okay, I've got a little bit of doubt on this forward pass. Can we review that, please? Go there, review it, bang, make a decision.
I think that's fair.
That's fair.
I think that's fair.
Then it takes pressure off Klein.
Yeah. But then,
and Annesley.
But then what if they get it wrong in the bunker again? Like
you surely can't fuck it up. Well, they can, because they fuck everything up.
You know what I mean?
I'm with Wayne. Get rid of the bunker.
No, you got to have the bunker.
I'm
because
joking,
you know what?
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know you're joking. I know you're joking. And Wayne, sort of brought that up. 3 captain challenges for the North Queensland watching that game back.
They won.
Newcastle won 3.
Yeah, Newcastle won 3,
in the first half an hour. That game, they could have got blown out by the COWBOYS early in that game if it wasn't for those calls.
Yeah.
So we need the bunker to get them right because every challenge.
And they got them right.
They got them right.
I like it.
And it got Newcastle back the ball.
I like that.
Kept them in the game.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I just think I think there's a place in the game. I know there's human error, and I know the refs fuck it up sometimes with forward passes and that, but there's a place in the game. Like if you're going to waste time with the bunker, you get that right.
Yep. Okay. All right. You're swaying me towards that. I'm not completely.
Just let it play out. Let it play out. Go back. Couple of minutes. Boom. We got a couple of minutes if you're going to determine a game or a big play. What do you think? What do you think of the Roosters' effort? Right.
I want to ask you a question about Sandon Smith. I've been on the fence with Sandon for a while. I've always think he's a good backup /14, and I felt like this game sort of confirmed it without completely digging. I know there's a number of factors that went into this. It wouldn't surprise me if my man, the Chad, if he goes down and he will start the season with Sandon Smith. I don't necessarily see Sandon Smith as a long-term option to
fuck no. See Sandon Smith probably in 21st man or something like. He'd be in the squad somewhere. He ain't your answer.
Okay. Well,
I think he can play right, but I think he needs another year under tutelage of a Chad Townsend or something like that. He needs to compete. The spot ain't his.
Yeah, okay.
The spot is definitely not his, especially after that performance. I know it's a final, but you're an NRL player. Play like one.
Yeah.
He's got all the skill sets and everything like that. You played against a juggernaut, right? I'm going to give him that. But you got to know where a sideline is, son. You know what I mean? Little things like that. That was bad. There's a few little things there. Momentum. You can't give Penrith that sort of stuff, and little things like that.
He missed a couple of kicks too.
Yeah, he got overawed, mate. You just can't have that. I know how old is he? 22, 21?
He'd be around that. So
yeah, I know, but I mean, he's obviously a future player. I don't see a future superstar. I think he's all right.
Why isn't my fucking internet working?
No,
Sorry,
mate. He's a decent player, but bro, if you're going to rule off that game, I think Chad Townsend will be coming down thinking he's going to be halfback or 5'8".
I reckon he's coming down with definitely
he's
21. Oh, there we go.
There we go. I'm not going to say, hey, as I said, take about 5 years with these younger kids.
Well, here we go. Here's one for you. At this point last year, or maybe halfway through last season, bless you, I had my doubts around Sam Walker. Now he's completely changed my mind there too. Yeah. So I'm
not going to rule him off one game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. He had a bad game. I'm not going to rule him off one game.
Okay.
He could play this week and have a great game. He could have a great preseason. In a year or 2, 3 years, he could be a good player.
Okay.
Right now, I'm not ruling him on that. He just had an off game. We all do. But it's magnified by 1,000 when it comes to a final. That's all.
The hard thing for the Roosters now is we talked about the hoodoo. In order to go through, they've obviously got to beat the Manly Seagulls this week. If they do,
be a good game.
Then they've got to go through Melbourne and then Penrith again. It's probably not going to happen for the Sydney Roosters, right?
They probably might get done this week. We'll go through that.
All right. The Storm 37 defeat the Sharks 10. Similar scoreline as the Panthers, but the Storm had to grind away after a perfect start from our man, the money man. It looks like these teams are clearly the two best. And the extra week right off now is crucial. You've just moved my notes there. I got it all sorted, mate. You know what? It's been a funny old season for Harry Grant. So he was named the captain of the club at the start of the year. And I think at times during games, he still hasn't completely figured it out. It's been a bit of a distraction for him, being constantly talking to referees. When you think about what made his is it predecessor, the person that went before him? Is that the right word? Yeah. Cameron Smith. He was so cool, calm and collected in that role as a captain and as a hooker. But you got to think about no one touches the ball more than a hooker. And Harry plays a completely different type of game. Like
More
he's
explosive.
more explosive, empties the tank, where Cam could just float around at 80, 90% and just and dissect the opposition. He also missed some time around Origin with that sternum injury. We know how fucking painful sternum
He's
injury
been
is.
banged up.
But then he has 3 tries in this game, and even though it has been I'd say it's been a down year for Harry.
Because he set the bar. He set the bar very high.
Correct. They were 3 games clear of the minor premiership. They now have a week off, and they're 1 game away from going into the grand final. So that's the scary part.
That's what's petrifying.
Yeah, that's because Jerome's been that dude for him that it's allowed Harry to have a slightly down year, Munster to have missed some time injured, Pappenhausen to gain confidence back from all the injuries that he's missed, and during that time they've developed Will Warbrick, Xavier Coates is
Farlongo.
Yeah, he's come a long way. You got Farlongo waiting. Like he's injured at the moment, but if he's required, he could be required in a big game at the end of the season. But like Trent Liero is developing into a really solid 13.
Katoa.
And Katoa's the key. Like Katoa on the edge.
Fucking
He's
Blore as well, man. Don't sleep on that kid.
the Melbourne Storm.
Melbourne Storm are here. Will Warbrick is running like a motherfucking maniac.
Yeah.
He looks hard to stop. Their back 3, back 5 are really on. I didn't think their back 5 was that good until Warbrick. Coates is back now.
Did you have your question marks on Will Warbrick coming in this season?
Not really. I thought that he was
worried about him.
I saw enough last year that he was a good finisher. He could run hard. So that's half your luck, and he's good under the high ball.
I don't know what his rugby league tutelage was like before he transferred over from rugby union and sevens. But it looks like now they've coached him up so well on the development of him that he no longer thinks about playing rugby league. He just does, and therefore he can front load and
he knows exactly his role now.
Yeah.
It's
it looked like he was a little bit unsure of himself last year, even in some really good moments like timing, all that sort of getting used to the different dynamics of the field.
He's taking people on. Like he's running the ball back, and it's like he don't care who's in front. Like he does not care. He's going to run in between players, and you're going to put your shoulder in.
Yeah.
And if you don't, he's going to throw you off because he's strong as hell. Great skill set, good late feet, swap hands. Like he can come out of like both edges. It's crazy, man. He's nearly the complete winger.
If we break down a Melbourne versus Penrith preview right now, I think that's where they could have the advantage against, we talked about how much we love Brian Tyler and Taruva, but remember the game about 4 or 5 weeks ago, Ali Katoa scored a couple of tries with them kicking to the wingers, and Warbrick and Coates didn't play in that game, but kicking to Warbrick, just trying to tap it back, and then Katoa got a couple of scraps tries in and around that position. I think that's big.
It's the only team that can beat Penrith. Melbourne's the only team that can beat Penrith right now. Yeah. Obviously, we've got 2 more rounds, and we can change our mindset. But I'm like, Storm, they look like they're the full package, and Harry Grant, unbelievable 3 tries. But our man Money, he's got a week off now, gets his body right. Jerome Hughes.
Shout out to the Money Man too. 30th birthday. Is the rival of his daughter Blakey was about 3 or 4 weeks earlier as well.
15 hit-ups.
15 hit-ups in the game. First try of the game.
Easy. Like he did it in second gear. He wasn't really like balls out. Like he was.
He's got a different swag about him at the moment too.
He is. He knows what's going on. That's a dangerous team. That team. Sharks. Let's go home.
All right, let's go to the Sharks. The 5 teams that aren't the Melbourne Storm or the Penrith Panthers, and we'll start with the Sharks, who they defeated. The Sharks have now lost 7 straight finals in a row. How does Fitzy turn this around, mate? They're playing the Cowboys at Allianz, who beat them first week of finals in 2022 in Golden Point. 7 finals games in a row. Yeah. We talk about the hoodoo with the Roosters against Penrith and Storm. This one's
what's that? 3 years. So 3 years they haven't won a finals game. They've got in the finals for 3 years. They've lost 7. Right? Is that right? 7 or 4 years?
20. So that would be 4. There must have been a break between the 5th
It's the 4th year.
Yeah.
You got to go through the front door, the Cowboys. They average, 55 metres a set? Like the Knights were going through their middle pretty easy. They weren't. The
Knights or the Storm?
The Knights against the...
Oh, the Cowboys. Against the Cowboys. So as you're talking about previewing the Cowboys game. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, sorry. What are we
No, sorry. I was talking about the Sharks. You confused me. I know where you're going with that. So you're saying
they're playing. Yes, I'm saying. But I think. So we just go back to this game anyhow. Sorry. It's how do they fix this? This is It's
I'm
gonna be
talking
hard.
about the mental side of it, not the physical
No,
side.
you
not
just
the-
got like
what-
Fitzy's good at that. He's been through everything, and I think they got a bunch of boys there that are mentally strong. They've been through a hell of a lot, and it's just it predicates on how the number 7 turns up.
All right,
what
let's
sort
get
of
to that.
what sort of mindset he is? He's copping a shitload, man.
Yeah.
you know,
So-
and I know he's a very big believer. He's like mental health and everything like that. Like he's fucking copping things left, right, and center. I'm not sure if he can deal with it.
There's a part of that I reckon is not the full part. Then we were discussing this coming in now because Brandy's come out and questioned whether Atkinson, who was playing on the bench, should be given more time at the expense of Nico. Could in any world Fitzy pull a trigger on such a huge move? And you know when you talk about the stuff like which is we love with Nico, it's about the mental side of the game, which he cares deeply about. If that is a big part of your fabric, then it'd be very hard for him to block out some of the negativity that gets thrown his way as well.
Hopefully he's not watching any podcasts or any like
Except for
Fox Sports. He can watch ours, but like he people don't understand. I was watching 360 last night. I barely watch it, but they had a whole fucking segment on him, right? And I was like, not one person said that he's fucking injured, right? Dude's come back from a syndesmosis. He's out for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, that's massive. The way that he's running, it's like he's on one fucking leg.
Yeah.
He's on one leg. He can't do what he can do.
And he was carrying the calf injury.
Yeah, the
before that
calf
too.
injury, he cannot do what he was doing when he's at 100%. No one's taking that into account. They're just going, oh, he's playing bad. I'm like, he's playing bad because he can't do it. His body's not allowing him to do that.
That's a
not
great
allowed.
point.
Not allowed to take. He's not doing short sides where he can skin the markers. He can play inside, outside, play short. All these little moves that he does when Nico Hines is at his best football. He's at about 75%.
You'll like this. When Nathan does what he does with the injury, or Tommy does what he does with the injury, and they win, we give him credit. When they play injured and they don't win, we don't.
It looks awful.
Not as many people will go and vouch for him, right?
They kept going like,
So
he's
results
playing
driven.
bad. Yeah, exactly. It's all results.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about his money. He's on $1 million and this and that. Who cares? He deserves his $1 million. He's there for 5 or 6 years. Oh, the questions were, what if he plays bad this week? Would you get rid of him? No. Like, come on, man.
It's not
Like,
the answer.
his body is banged up, right? He's doing everything he can to get on the field. And like, as I said, I always say, players play. You can't go to Nico and go, mate, you want a week off, man, because you look a bit banged up. You might be right for No, mate. No way. I'm ready to roll. He's doing all the fitness tests. He's doing everything he can. This week, you'll probably see a different Nico Hines.
Huge game for him.
It's a massive game for him because he's going to cop everything if they lose. It's all on him because all the rest of those players, they're not superstars. They're not stars. They're just a bunch of great hardcore players that just play the game nice and tough. Nico's their man. He's their $1 million player.
superstar.
He's their dude. He's a Dally M winner. He's played for Queensland. He's played for New South Wales. He's played for Australia. Therefore, they expect this much of him. Because the other guys aren't superstars, they expect what they do.
You know what's been a hindrance to Nico is the performances of Daniel Atkinson during his time.
Yeah.
So in what way can we see the best version of Nico? And I think there's a world in which they need to somehow get Atkinson in the game earlier. How do they do that?
Yeah. That's
Can
what
Nico-
that is going to be. Everyone's saying he can play fullback. Dude, he's at 80%. You know how hard it is to be fucking playing fullback?
I would want to move.
I don't want to put him in fullback.
Could you get, just say, right, if the game's in the balance,
He's playing 7, right?
Yeah. If the game,
Because they kept saying last night, he's playing 6. Well, he's not playing 6.
No, he's playing.
Trindle's playing 6.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't really matter. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I know. But all I want from him is to just direct their whole team into a good position so when they can get into a good kick and then boom, defense and just get in that grind. That's what their whole game's predicated on.
The Cowboys were playing Newcastle on Saturday night, and it was even with about 20 minutes to go, and they brought Gamble on, took Brayley off, put Crossland into hooker. We'll talk about that game a little bit. Is there a world in which Nico can play like a ball-playing lock through the middle?
No, because you'll have to make so many tackles.
What if you just defended him out wide, put Teague Wilton in the middle defensively?
There's somewhere that they could do that, yeah. But I'm not sure. I think 7, he could do the exact same thing at 7.
No, but it's not less about what he can do at 7, but having 3 options. Because I think one thing Cronulla are lacking is a ball
Creativity.
playing middle. McInnes isn't providing that.
Oh, no.
Jack Williams doesn't provide that to the level of like
No.
Nico, where you have. Imagine if you had Nico
could do
swinging either side with Atkinson out the back on one side.
I think that
and
could
Trindle out
work.
the back.
That could work. I honestly,
you defend him on an edge still,
I
a
honestly
full
think
man?
that can work.
Yeah.
Because they need creativity around the ruck, and there's just very one out.
And that's only with 20 minutes to go, maybe. The game's in the balance. You're looking for ways to score points, or you're behind.
Yeah.
If you're in front, leave Nico out there and play that same style. Atkinson stays on the bench for as long as possible.
I don't mind that.
Play
I
the
don't
power
mind that
game.
from the start, but I don't mind that from the start. Like Nico can play, like put him at 13. You start, what's the name, McInnes off the bench, and then you got to, and you start Atkinson.
Or like no, well, if it get it earlier in the game. So like because you want
start it.
McInnes to start right with physicality, and then 25, 30 minute mark where we look for that X factor.
Yeah,
Maybe thoughts.
I like it, but I'm not sure if you can do that 10 minutes into a game.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
30 minutes in the game.
30 minutes in the game.
Just before half time, depending on where the game's at.
I don't hate that.
Yeah.
I
It's
do
a
not hate it.
situational thing
But
only.
if Cronulla can just get their business done right and they're on the front foot,
Yeah.
if they're on the front foot, then I'll do it. They're on the back foot, just got to keep what they're doing.
Okay.
But they've got to try something.
That's a big one. Fitzy has been questioned as well this week. I saw a fan questioning his credentials on one of the social media pages as well.
What they question?
Like about his record with finals. My big thing is, I reckon.
What's he supposed to do? Get out and play?
Well, no, I'm with you on this one. I think Fitzy has. They've overachieved with Fitzy. When you look at the roster, I love that. Like, as in individually, I like some of the players, but in terms of like where they compare to some, like just say the Broncos. I reckon Broncos have got a much better roster. I reckon Fitzy has got to these guys to playing to their absolute maximum ability. Therefore, once they get to the finals, you can get found out a little bit better because you're not only playing against good rosters, you're also playing against the top tier coaches.
Yeah.
You've got Ivan, you've got Bellamy, you've got all these sorts of coaches as well. So I think Fitzy's done a great job at Cronulla.
Yeah.
And he's just, unfortunately, he's maximising the talent that he's got right now, and they're getting to the finals, but therefore they're just
They
lacking.
haven't delivered, but
ever so
they
slightly
haven't
with
delivered.
talent.
They just haven't delivered in the finals. That's all, and that's not up to Fitzy, mate. He's prepped those guys as good as he can do. The coach ain't there. The coach isn't out there playing. He's giving you a game plan to stick to. You're doing video all week for their weaknesses. As I said, like when they play North Queensland, we'll get to that soon. We'll preview them. But like you got to go through the front door. They've got the biggest, meanest pack in the game. Cronulla does when they just play simple footy.
Oh, when they bash people through the middle.
But that's all they got to do.
And even their outside backs
That's
run like
all they've got to
forwards.
do. That's all they've got to do. It's semi-final football, just fucking high completions, kick to the corners. That's what Cronulla does. That's what they do when they're at their best. And Nico just needs to guide them around the park.
But here's my thing
do
with
his
that.
plays. They're having a crack at Nico because he didn't make line breaks. He missed that kick out and things like that.
But here's my point with that. Melbourne and Penrith can weather that storm, and then they've got
They
the
can
skill.
weather that storm easy.
And then they can go over the top.
That's what I'm saying. That's for these guys to get to a prelim.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay,
They'll
gotcha.
get busted in the prelim.
All right, in order to get to the prelim, Cowboys 28 defeat the Knights 16. Cowboys had
What
to
a
really earn
game.
this one
What a game.
because the Knights left it all out there. For me, the Cowboys are the team, the most dangerous outside of the Storm and the Panthers. Their edge defence from the Cowboys back rows has improved dramatically since the Storm game. Lukey is really starting to string together some games. Him and Nanai provide the most.
Fuck, now
complete
I'm still
back
off a
row.
little bit.
In what way?
Oh, there was a couple of plays there when I was like he was just off a little bit, and then he fixed his game up. It was some defensive lapses he did at the
The one
start.
where he, on the Lucas try, he sort of shot out of the line and
he didn't have to.
yeah.
he didn't have to.
There was I
where
sat-
Kai Pearce-Pauls went through.
Yeah.
He just has to hold.
Yeah.
What are you doing shooting up, trying to get out the guy out the back? You don't do that. Not in your when it's red zone defense. You just hold, and they just would have slid to the. He wouldn't have hit Pearce-Paul if he left that gap open.
I think he's made a more noticeable effort to improve on his defense, but I agree.
And then he did turn back, and he still should have made that tackle. Little things like that. Like he should have said, he's just smart defense.
Yeah.
He's a smart defender. He can hit. He can do a lot of things. He's a rep player, man. Like
I think he's pulled back on his attack to focus more on defense. in the last
because
couple of weeks.
but they're just that one pull. He thought it was going out the back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not in that position.
Yeah.
Not in that position.
You're right. He does get a bit deer in the headlights sometimes, eh? Like he's super focused sometimes
He
on.
thinks like that's going out the back. I'm going to make a play
yeah.
instead of waiting, checking, releasing.
That's his problem. He's a playmaker.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. He's a play. He wants to make the plays. He wants to make the plays in with the ball and out without the ball. But like in a situation like that, when you're in your 30, you don't rush out like that, mate.
Yeah.
You know, if you're apart, you know, if you're defending over the half and you can just sort of rush out and defenses are coming over, you'd save that. It wouldn't be a try. It obviously a bad play anyway. Be a quick play of the ball, but it wouldn't be a try. You know, so like little things like that. Just got to work on little things. Just the little things in semi-finals that can cost you games.
Yeah, I'll say this, and I feel like we talked about him before, the dog of all dogs. The OG dog of all dogs is JT. He's been the heart and soul of this North Queensland team. He's very, very gently passing the baton on to Ruben. Ruben is a fucking dog. I love watching Ruben play.
God, he goes hard.
We'll get to Kalen in a bit because I want to talk glowingly about Kalen as well in this game. But JT's hit on Leo Thompson.
That's one of the best hits I've seen. That's the best hit JT's ever put on. Tamalolo ever. He's not a known hitter. He's a good defender.
Yeah.
He's not a known banger.
He runs over people. That's how he gets his hits. Not defensively. I haven't seen that from JT.
Nasty.
That was fun.
That was a turning point, man.
And that was on Leo Thompson as well.
Yeah, he's fucking hard to hit.
Hey, shout out to Leo Thompson who got straight back up. He's a dog.
Tough man, yeah.
He is a dog.
Hey, I think he was more shocked. He's like, the fuck hit me?
Yeah, because
Who hit me?
Yeah, like when we think of JT, like it's Jason Tomalolo, you think about how hard he is to tackle when he runs over people and hits people like that. I can't remember a time I've seen him just bend someone of that nature like that.
Not like that. He was probably like just going, what happened to you?
Yeah. Yeah, so
got him good.
Led by JT and Ruben Cotter through the middle.
Ruben Cotter is another level, mate. He played, I think, 80 minutes, just non-stop.
No. They took him off for a 15-minute stint. That's when Newcastle got back in the,
then
in the game.
And they bring him back on. They brought him and JT back on.
The game's getting away, and they chucked Ruben Cotter back out there.
Jordan McLean played good too.
Yeah, he did.
He probably played one of his best games.
I think
and he scored that try.
Yep.
But I think he set the standard out there. He was running hard. He's a big body, man. When he fucking understands how big and strong he is, he's been around for a while, man. 200 games.
You know, a big part of their resurgence as well is, and we talk about it all the time and how important it is. Jake Clifford's got a nice long kick on him, man.
Big kick.
Huge kick.
Yeah.
So they're
a good defender.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
He's bigger than you think.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's about...
Bit taller than
we don't need to go there.
Yeah. 3 times. No, I like Clifford. I like the way they played, man. It was a hard game. It looked hot. It looked fast. There was hardly any breaks in it. It looked tiring. I just looked at that game and go, fucking hell. Who's going to win this game, man? You know, like just who? It was a bee's dick between it. It was a play. Gags. You know, does he go inside to gamble?
Here we go. I've got one for you. I've got you one for Kalen. 10 minutes to go in the first half, and this is just slight little things as well, because I'm watching this game knowing the result, right? So when you watch the game back knowing the result, you can see how things unfolded. 10 minutes to go in the first half, Kalen sweeps down the right edge. He was the best player on the field for, in my opinion, even better than Nath, even better than anyone else that played in the finals after watching this game back. Cogger puts a pass just ever so slightly on his left shoulder. He has to turn around and grab it. It doesn't give him the opportunity to square up, play 3-on-2. He gets tackled. He could have potentially found and scored some more points. It would have made it really hard for the Cowboys at that point. Yep. And there's all this, and what I was thinking about is the pressure around him for everyone, not only him, to play a 10 out of 10 reminds me of when I played with Jared Hayne. And what I mean by that is star player, highest paid player in the team, in close to the league, pin-up boy. Everyone loved Jared. Everyone loves Kalen. And whether we won at Parramatta or the Newcastle Knights win, he gets all the blame if we lose, and he gets all the credit if we win. It's everyone's like, it's a one-man team, all that sort of jazz. What that did was, I remember playing with it at Parramatta, and I never spoke about it with players, but you feel a touch of anxiety to either get Jared the ball as much as possible, or when you're an opportunity, like when I was running off Jared, I'm like, subconsciously there's a part of you like, I hope I don't fuck this up for him. I hope I don't fuck this up for our team, because he's doing so much. He's coming up with these fucking highlight plays all the time that if you are a Jack Cogger who puts it just on his shoulder, if you're Gags who drops the ball, like it was in front of Gags, it was a tough ball, but you still got to take it, right?
Gags has caught tougher balls.
Easily. So I think everyone at Newcastle ever so slightly subconsciously feels that pressure, similar to what I reckon we felt a little bit with Jared.
Yeah, of course.
I reckon a big part of when you are that star player in that position, you've got to come up with something. you really require X factor players.
Yeah,
and
to make the plays.
So you know who that is for Newcastle at the moment? Bradman Best.
They missed him.
When Bradman Best isn't out there at his full potential in the last 18 months, 2 years,
I agree.
he creates something for Kalen that Kalen thinks he doesn't have to do everything. He can sometimes throw it to Bradman. And last year,
He didn't go left much, did he?
in a different way. Purely just try scoring, Dom Young would come up with X factor plays, scoring over top of his head, and I reckon there's a part of that it made Kalen go, all right, like fuck, I didn't need to do everything for Dom Young to score that try. That's an example, right?
Yeah.
And for Parramatta with us, it was when Folletti and Chris Inu left and went to New Zealand Warriors. Those two guys for us at Parramatta during that reign that Hainsey had. Hainsey could sometimes just throw it to Fletty and Fletty would pull something arsey out.
Fletty was a gun.
And people, it's underrated what Inu was capable of doing.
Inu was a gun.
Inu was my version of like Dom Young in this, in this
Fuck,
example.
don't compare him to Dom Young.
In this example, like you always compare, like when I do comparisons, it's not like they're like for like, but moments of brilliance in scoring, like Inu could jump over people, he could grab the ball one hand and put it down.
He was skillful.
They're not the like for like total package, but that's my example for it.
Do you if you're the Cowboys, why do you keep kicking a fucking Marju? Oh my God. You see how hard that guy runs? He ran over Taumalolo in the first hit up.
What a kick.
And I'm like, oh, mate, he had a great game.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you just kept kicking it to him like you're going to put a shot on him. The dude can bench 220, squat fucking 400
Kick
kilos.
to left.
Kick left or kick straight down the fucking post.
Yeah.
I would have went, get away from him, please.
Yeah.
He was getting their sets off to a great start.
He's good to target in yardage sets, set for set.
Yeah, but that's about it. That's about it.
Not off kickoffs.
Don't kick to him.
Stop
please.
kicking to him
Stop
off
it.
kickoffs.
Stop it.
Yeah.
What do you think Newcastle need for them? I mean, they're a top 8 team. They did make the 8, which is a massive effort. What do they need to get over the, get to the prelim, get to a grand final? Obviously, the easy answer is, I'll give you an answer, is the spine, right? The spine's terrible. Cogger,
I think
Phoenix Crossland.
I think Cogger's capable. The one thing that I like with Cogger, a couple of moments in the game, right? And this is what I talk about with the expectations for Kalen and what I've seen from Cogger, and even Kalen mentioned it after the South Sydney game. A couple of times, there's 2 occasions. Kalen went to go on a dummy half after they created some space. Cogger pushed him out twice. There was one time, whereas if I was Kalen, I would have pushed Cogger back because they had momentum and he sort of got in the way. I think Cogger's capable of being a 7 that's able to put Kalen in the best positions. For sure, you can't be perfect at every position, so there's going to be improvements to be made.
I think they need to really go after Sam Walker as a 7. He hasn't signed yet. Go after Sam Walker and go after a proper 9. I'd go after like a Harry Grant or something like that. I would throw everything out because their forwards. They left everything on the field. They can go with anyone, the forwards.
I like Phoenix Crossland, but I don't mind
Phoenix. I don't know Phoenix, but they fucked around with him and they tried to put him at like 7. And when he's put on 5 or 6, 7 kilos to try and play 9. Then all of a sudden, and it's a money thing because they got that Brayley kid's on 750. Do you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of money. Like I'd throw a shitload at Harry Grant and a shitload at Sam Walker.
I don't think you're going to get either, though.
I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying. It is realistic. You can get Sam Walker. He's off contract.
Well, Sam Walker, yes.
Yeah.
But do you think Roosters are going to
how many years is Harry Grant there for?
Harry's pretty much locked up.
How many? Is he there next year? Is he there next year
Definitely,
after?
yeah. At least the next 2 years. Harry's name hasn't even been tossed up recently. Cheese?
Someone needs to be there.
Cheese is off contract in the next year.
Cheese would be great. Be out of Sydney and all the bullshit.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good up there.
Yeah,
I think Sam Walker would be great up there.
I actually like Phoenix. I reckon Phoenix is so much better at 9.
I think he's all right, but I mean he's all right, right?
Yeah, we still haven't seen it. They just signed. How
long's Harry Grant on contract for? Because I've had a conversation with a very important person in Newcastle, and he reckons that Harry Grant would be an option.
Oh wow.
And Sam Walker.
He's the captain of Melbourne. There's no way they're going to let go of
him. No, he might be over Melbourne.
Yeah.
Might win a competition this year.
26 player option.
So 2026? Who knows? I saw something like that, but I could just say they get Brandon Smith for 2 years, he'd be done 2 or 3, you know what I mean? It could happen.
That's a
I don't
massive
know.
curveball. That one.
I don't know. It is a curveball, but hey, I'm not. This is not from my knowledge. This is from talking to people up in Newcastle and knowing what they need. And I know Sam Walker would love it up there.
Yeah, well,
And they need a Sam Walker, and they've got money.
because all the chat is Kalen leaves Newcastle.
Kalen Ponga needs help.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't need help, you're probably going to lose him.
So the big roster changes expected for the Knights, I've got written down here, was they're looking at trying to move on Daniel Saifidi.
They're not moving.
Apparently there's chat that he could be going to the Dolphins to replace Jesse. The money would have to be right.
Pay him his money, mate.
Yeah, the money would have to be right. Brayley is the other one. There's chat about Brayley heading to Parramatta because Matt Arthur's coming from Parramatta, so that's a swap there. And they're looking for a 9 as well. I think Brayley would be a good shout at Parramatta.
I think Brandon Smith would be good, but.
And then also Hastings is on big money there and he's playing lock in New South Wales Cup for him at the moment.
Well, they need to fuck him off to England ASAP. So he's on, 700? So
I think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what it's on.
There's a lot of dead wood there that they need to get rid of.
Peter O'Sullivan's just taken over, I believe.
And he knows what's going on.
Is the recruitment. So They
just need their forwards are good. I think they'll keep Saifidi. They'll try to if they can. If he wants to go, if they pay him his money, because he ain't going to leave. He's on a lot of money, mate. It's not like he's 22. He's about 28, 29 years old. You know what I mean? So he needs that. He's been fucking good for Newcastle. You know what I mean? So Kalen Ponga needs help. If you looked at that game the other night and you go, God, if they had a decent 7 and 6. 9, spine. You know what I mean? Their forwards are doing their work. Their backs are outstanding. Everybody's doing their job apart from the spine. And their bench. And their bench. Like, if you have to be a fucking genius to have a look at that and just go, what's wrong with Newcastle?
And you know
got one person doing everything.
Similar to Cronulla, they don't have that ball playing middle as well.
Yeah, I mean, he got Adam Elliott tries. Adam Elliott's he fucking rips in every single game.
Same as McInnes.
If you keep a Leo Thompson, you keep the Jacob Saifidi, the other Saifidi leaves. Still got Pierce Paul. They really got to find a genuine 7, mate. A real genuine 7.
All right, the Seagulls, very hard to find though on the market, mate. That's my biggest pushback with all that. The Seagulls 24, unless you get Sam Walker, but I can't imagine the Roosters letting go of Sam Walker.
Well, I just know there's a little bit of like friction there because hey, guess what? He was playing reserve grade last year, wasn't he? He's had a great year this year.
That's true.
Great year this year, and everyone's like, let's try and sign him. ACL now. He's got a long memory.
Okay,
right?
There you go. Seagulls 24 defeat the Bulldogs 22. Couldn't have been prouder, like I said at the top, talking about this Manly game, mate. And the Dogs were absolutely dominant for 65 minutes, in my opinion. Normally, Manly sort of go sideways when they get punched in the mouth, like I said, but they took their licks. Turbo was clearly hampered by that shoulder, but managed to hang in there. People, like we talked about this, he's so tough. He made a business.
He would have been at 60%.
He made a business decision on the Crichton try. He got there early enough to knock it out.
I know.
But he pulled out, and I'm glad he pulled out because he was able to play the rest of the game. I reckon if he goes in for that try and tries to knock it out, he for sure re-aggravates it, and we don't see Turbo for the rest of the finals.
You can't. Yeah, the needle would have worn off by then. That was a great game. I'm so proud of that Bulldogs club, the players, the coaches, everybody. Like what they've done this year is nothing short of outstanding. The fans, 3 weeks in a row. The fans are outstanding. Everybody should be proud of that club. Everybody should be proud of the players. We've had a great year. We finished 6th, right? We finished 6th. No one was even tipping us to make the 8 this year. No. Everyone was tipping us to make the wooden spoon.
Sorry.
That's all good. Just a joke. You know what I mean? But like they worked hard. They've been coached well. They've got the good roster there. They're going to keep building and building and building. The pathways is coming through. Like the club at it right now, like off field is at the top. They should be proud of themselves. That was a fucking gut-wrenching loss.
Yeah.
A gut-wrenching loss. I'm not even going to mention plays that let us down because the players that were involved in it would be sitting there going, fuck, I wish I had that play over again, but that's semi-final football and they're going to be better for it because they got a taste of it this year. Most of those guys, I think about 10 players out of that whole squad has never played semi-final football, and that was fucking semi-final football at its best. And the most gut-wrenching way to lose situation. Like when you've got that game and you end up losing, it's hard. But they're the things. It's not a grand final. It's not anything like that. It's just like
It still hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. Yeah. I'm just saying, but like it's not a grand final where you can really just like Brisbane.
Yep.
It's like it's just you want more.
Yeah.
You want more.
Yeah.
We'll train harder. We'll go harder. We'll build more. More resilience. The team's coming together. The culture's working. Everything like that. So it's something to build on. And I just think, like as an ex-player watching that game, like I was so fucking proud of those boys. I was fucking emotional at the end, and it was hard to watch because I've been in that position, and it sucks. But it's got to make you stronger.
Mate, I couldn't have been more impressed again with Serrato and Critter after the game.
But they are just impressive men, right? I've spoke to Gus, I've spoke to Ciro about everything like that, just like how they're feeling, and they're so proud. Every ex-Bulldog should be so proud of that club right now and proud of those players because they perform like Bulldogs.
They did.
They did.
They've created their own culture, haven't they?
Yeah, they've created their own culture. Don't worry about the Dogs Award. Don't worry about the entertainers. Don't worry about anything like that. This is the 2024 Bulldogs, and you're your own culture, you're your own people. Just do your thing, and I hope they build next year and they take one more step, 2 steps, you know what I mean? And we get a grand final soon.
So do I. And someone mentioned it, I think it was in the comments with doing the show with Grub now. I'm like a low-key – Bulldogs are nearly my second favourite team. I do the podcast with you. I do the Mowers with Missile, who's a diehard Bulldogs fan. I got Grub with the hoops and hits, and I train with Rennie and Braith every fucking Wednesday.
We're just fucking slowly indoctrinating.
I've slowly become like it was. I was watching one of those. I was watching the game, and I was like, normally when Manly win in a fashion like that, I was like, fuck the other team, and I was like, man, I feel bad for
and
the
you
Dogs
like,
right
you
now.
know what? You like the players as well. We've got the Critters and the Kick-Outs and the Birdos and the Morans and like all these real hard, just fucking gritty players.
They're not necessarily star players either, right?
No.
They're like, I know they're players on big money and achieved a lot, but it's more the mentality, the workman-like mentality.
And who knows what Gus is going to do next year? We got Tupanua, we got the young kid from over in England. We're just trying to build that. We've got some good young kids coming up, Harry Hayes and all these young kids got to play first grade this year. As I said, iron sharpens iron. They're going to be going at it next year. They have a good break, relax, get your rep football out of the way and just lock back into next year.
Can we speak about the winners a little bit more now?
Of course, mate. Manly, they were nearly, I thought they were done. I was just sitting there going, holy shit, what a gritty team.
I would say this performance from Ola Kawatu was more impressive than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think stats-wise, he had a better game and he was a monster a couple of weeks ago. But the difference this time, Kicks was ready.
They both played fucking outstanding.
And Kicks was getting after it. He had a clear advantage over Kicks in the last game and Kicks took that personal.
Love that.
Love it. And Ola Kawatu didn't shy away from the challenge. And he was the guy, when we were losing field position, there was a couple of guys that stood out to me. Even our young gun, Leo Hopewadi, who's been denting the line. Remember when Critter ran from the right side, they put a kick up, he picked him up, manhandled Leo Hopewadi, put him in.
How good's that?
And it's that swag I was talking about before with Nathan. So even the young guns like Tolu Kola and Leo Hopewadi weren't getting those yards. The only two people that were, in my opinion, were Ola Kawatu, Matty Lodge consistently.
Yeah, Lodge played good.
And then Paseka had a good second stint as well off the bench. But the reason I was worried about this game as a Manly fan going into it is because I knew Bulldogs were going to come out with what they threw at them. And I thought it was going to be very hard for Manly to weather that storm and somehow come out on top. I'm actually more excited about the Roosters challenge because it's the opposite. The Roosters manhandled us at Allianz about 6 weeks ago, Manly. And I think...
Yeah, I'm not even looking at that game.
I think the Seagulls are going to be up for it off the back of a couple of players that weren't a part of that game. And then we had some circumstances with Jason Saab and Ruben Garrick both going off in that game with HIA. I like what the Manly middles have done and responded with in the last couple of weeks. Paseka, I think Lodge is a big part of it.
I think they're going to go to a prelim. I reckon they'll go to a prelim. They might shock some people. I think the Roosters... I mean, J-Dub's back this week. Victor Radley.
Chance.
Is a chance. You get those two, then we'll talk about this on Thursday.
Okay.
It's a different vibe. I need to see the team list. I need to see it. And I know those two will play. I know Vic will play. I know tough.
Doesn't he have like a broken shoulder or some shit?
I don't fucking know, but I know he'll play.
Yeah.
He's a dog. He's a dog.
Yeah.
He's got a dog mentality.
Someone
just don't think. I look at Manly and go, they got that team. They got a little bit of swag. Tommy's going to have another week to rest. You know, I think he'll be back to his best.
Matty Lodge allows Nathan Brown to move back to the bench. I think that's where he does his best work for
Bullymore runs fucking hard. He's been good.
Bullymore's got some X factor.
Yeah, he does.
He can take one
he'll break your line.
Yeah,
he'll break your line. If you don't put your shoulder in his chest, he's going to break your line. They were impressive. It was a great game. It was a great game. 4 tries each, just missed the conversion. Just little things like that.
Ruben Garrick kicking is really underrated as well.
Yeah,
big games.
He's fucking good, mate.
He was nailing some kicks.
You know, Cola's going to have another week to get better.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to have a full deck of cards and they're going to be hard to beat, man. Because the Roosters are busted. Yeah, and it sucks because they've been pretty good all year. And now it's just sort of like, you know, you lose Sam Walker who creates so much. Brandon Smith fucking gets out and bangs, you know what I mean? Like Connor, and then it ruins up their rotation because Connor Watson can't come off the bench and then speed the ruck up. And
we've had that for the last couple of years with Manly missing Turbo, so it's nice to finally be on the better side of that.
Turbo's going to be bait. You guys are going to be. He's going to be full deck, and it's like, yeah, it's going to be a hard game. We'll review those games or preview those games on Thursday.
All right.
You know, I was thinking on the weekend, every team that I played for was in the top 8. Newcastle, Roosters, Bulldogs, North Queensland, and Manly. I was serious. I played for all those fucking clubs.
I was going to say, you had 2 Willie Mason Cups. Cowboys versus the Knights, Seagulls versus the Bulldogs, and the Roosters versus the Panthers. You didn't have that with Storm and Sharks. You were close to going the Storm, weren't you?
Very close.
All right, those are the review to the games. We'll be back for Thursday's preview.
Get us some good questions.
Clark Kent, you give us some good ones, brother.
Give me a fucking decent one.